Oh my total goodness. Hello. Hello everybody. Hey Frothy Cat. Hey Steven. Good to see you. Who else is here? I don't even know. Let me scroll up a little bit. Oh, Oberon's here. Hi Oberon. You get some of them are razzing me in the Discord server. So I see you in both places. It seems like weeks go by and nothing interesting happens, and then a day like today hits us, and it's just like nonstop wall-to-wall excitement. So I thought this was just going to be my normal Tuesday work jam thing, where I turn on the camera and whatever I happen to be doing, I'm doing. And if you're there doing something too, that's all good. However, it's like a Kickstarter Tuesday. If you don't know, Tuesdays are kind of like the chosen day for Kickstarters to launch. When you're going to put out a product like a DVD or a video game, Tuesday's the day for some bizarre reason. It's cheap movie night, as if anybody goes to the movies anymore, but man, oh man, what's exciting about today is that I don't normally do this. I don't ever do this, but we're going to take a look at two Kickstarters today, and both of them are involving space. And I'm working on the end of my How to Play Black Angel video, and Black Angel takes place in the same darn place that these two Kickstarters take place. Outer space. It's a large place, I realize, to set something. In fact, I would say that everything is set technically in outer space, including Castles of Burgundy, which we'll also talk about in a bit. And then Frothy Cat wants to know if I'm actually teaching all three of these games, Black Angel, Voidfall, and Drop Drive, simultaneously. And the answer is yes. Stay tuned. I thought Drop Drive was set. I thought Drop Drive set initiative order. Oh yeah, we're talking about how to work in. So it's kind of like, you know, those videos where like I don't know, it's Pulp Fiction, but every single time somebody says the F word, it's the entire B movie. So we're gonna do that, where it's like, you know, between turns in Voidfall, it's an entire game of Drop Drive, for example. I didn't know they launched today, so that's exciting. Yeah, well, let's take a look. If you hadn't had a chance, this up until like half an hour ago is what the Voidfall Kickstarter page looks like. And I'm going to refresh, and it will... Whoa, there it is! Oh my gosh! So amazing, so amazing. So I'm gonna pause actually the sound, just so that we can hear the sound in their teaser video here. So let's watch together, shall we?
From the endless void between the dimensions, an ancient cosmic entity reached out to our fledgling empire and corrupted the minds of our rulers by granting them power and knowledge.
That's halfway decent animation.
Help them populate the entire galaxy. And when the Dominaeum's glory was shining the brightest, the Voidborn arrived to reap what it had sowed.
Nice particle effects. Kind of some tracking issues on that ship.
Forces now raging across the galaxy. We, the last of the great houses, are the only hope to purge the cosmic.
Thank you so much, Dave, for following me on YouTube.
Restore our empire to its former glory.
Oh, that's a nice glimmer. I like that.
Voidfall is a Euro-style Space 4X game for 1 to 4 players, including a solo and cooperative mode against the cosmic threat of the Voidborn, and a competitive mode pitting you against your rivals in restoring the Dominaeum. Become the leader of a great house and build a empire with endless possibilities.
Did you see that?
Establish guilds, increase your sector's population, and boost your production. Develop and improve technologies. Advance on your house-specific civilization.
Look at those shiny.
Deploy space fleets. And seize new sectors without relying on luck. Either from other players.
Nice.
Or from the Voidborn. While dealing with its cosmic corruption that can cripple your empire. Use your deck of focus cards to select your actions. And play agenda cards that will not only boost your focus cards' efficiency, but also serve as your tableau of custom scoring conditions. The events in our galaxy can be treacherous and fickle, but may also help you on your path to victory. Pledge now for the exclusive Galactic Box.
Oh, settle down.
Become the savior of humanity.
All right. I don't know about you guys, but when I back Kickstarters, and it's increasingly rare nowadays for a few different reasons. First, I'm broke. Second, I mean, somebody was just saying it, or Petras was just saying it on the Discord server, like, you know, you spend a whole pile of money and then you get something like 2 years later. Meanwhile, you could have put that money in the bank and earned fractions of pennies in interest. So really, who comes out on top of that situation? But Mind Clash Games, I'll fill in a few details if you're not following who this is or what this Kickstarter is about. So Mind Clash Games is a publisher who makes games that I really enjoy. One of them is called Tricarian Legends of Illusion. It's it's probably in my top 10 games. I'll say that, even though I haven't done a top 10 video, but it's way up there. And then they did a game called Anachrony, which is also excellent. And they sent me the whole Anachrony Infinity Box, which is just a preposterous amount of game that I haven't been able to get played yet. So I don't know if Mind Clash is looking at this right now or in a rerun, but I'm working on it. I have to keep teaching people the base game, Mind Clash, and then I can't. You must have that problem, right? When you buy expansions and you're like, wow, I really want to try this expansion, but nobody I know has played the base game. So I'll play the base game with them, and then the next time we get together, we'll play the expansion, and then it just doesn't happen. You're on to some other new game. So it's tricky. So when I do decide to back something, I back things on Kickstarter for the dumbest reasons. And let me just back up a couple of moments, and it's always like, I'll never watch the whole video. Usually I'll just pause it in the middle because something will get me. So the thing in this video, the very first thing in this video that got me was the moment when, first of all, those ships are nice. Somebody mentioned the ships, right? Those, so Fractal mentioned the little ships on stands, right? I've been playing a lot of Zia, and it's got the little ships on stands. That's always great. Who doesn't like that? It's this moment right here. Check this out.
Become the leader of a great house and build.
Ooh, doesn't that look cool? Doesn't that feel good? I love recessed boards, and this has got them, and I love envelope-y things and things that slot into the things. Look at the way these cards slot into these card docking bays, and then they've got the little void. Let me scrub a little bit and see if I can find it. Oh, okay, this shot was sexy as heck. Look at this. Look at the shininess on those. I mean, that would be the dumbest reason to spend X $100. We haven't seen the price yet, but I'm sure it's up there. Those shiny token. I mean, that's just acrylic plastic. Who cares? But that shot looks really, really good. And recessed boards, like I say. And then here, you can't really see it from the 3D rendering that they have, but I've seen stuff on BoardGameGeek where I believe, I could be wrong, but I believe all of these hexagonal tiles that make up outer space are recessed too. So you have actual gear-shaped recesses in those tiles to fit those gear-shaped tokens. Really cool. That alone, you know, the fact that it's Mind Clash and the fact that it's got recessed boards, I back things for the stupidest reasons, but you don't know. People just make emotional decisions when they buy things. Does it light up? It does not light up to my knowledge, but I know I could be wrong. Let's investigate a little bit further. I wrote an article actually on this, just a shameless clickbait article called Top 5 Reasons You Should Be Excited About Voidfall. And so the 5 of them, if I can remember them, were it's Mind Clash games, and I like Mind Clash games. They do really cool stuff. It's a 4X game, and I think I've done a Board Game 101 video on what a 4X game is. It's just a game where you can explore and exploit. So like in a space game, you're going to planets or asteroids and mining them for resources, and then you can expand, so you have some sort of empire or territory that you are growing, and you can exterminate, so there's some sort of combat or fighting system in it. Great. The artwork is by Ian O'Toole. If you like Ian O'Toole, cool. I've got, we're going to be talking about Black Angel in a little bit. He did the art for Black Angel as well, so it's neat to see him do 2 space games and then compare and contrast and look at the differences in the art between them. This is interesting. Cooperative mode. Things turn me off too. Little things too. When I see things that I don't like, I bounce. And usually the word cooperative is enough to make me run far away because I don't like cooperative games at all. But it looks like they're trying to appeal to everyone by making competitive, cooperative, and of course they got the solo mode. What else do we have here? They reimagined the Space 4X genre. A lot of people were surprised that they did this because it's already kind of like a crowded Arena. You've got Bzia, not quite a 4X game. I think it's missing an X, but it's along similar lines. And of course, Twilight Imperium. If you know that game, it's a famously involved space opera 4X game. No one should be backing this for the retail copy, honestly. Tell me why, Oberon. Tell me more. Recessed boards are only in the top tier. Oh, really? Okay, yeah, so let's look at that. Minimum luck gameplay, deep empire management, combat system. I'll scroll zippy through and take a look at... so here we go. So for 87, approximately $87, presumably American. $87. So already they're starting quite a bit on the high side. You get, oh no, look at this. This is standard 30, double-sided, not double layered. So you get the tiles, the player, the game. Here's the game. Here's the base game and all the stuff that comes in it. The dials, the little wheels, the chits, and you do not, looks like you don't get little spaceships on stilts. Are these double layered spaceship fleet tokens? I might be wrong. I should keep looking. Shiny acrylic pieces, cardboard pieces, lots of stuff to punch the gear things, co-op and solo mode components. Yeah, it looks like I am going to assume that those spaceships on stilts are not in the lowest tier. And then when you back at 100, ooh, that's a jump, from, what are we starting at here? $87 to 100 and where did it go? $158 approximately, or €135, or in Canuck bucks here in Canada, that would be like $8,000, something like that. I'm guessing $8,000. So all the stuff that we saw above, plus upgraded components. Yes. So here's where you get the ships on stilts, and they're nice looking ships. 200, thanks so much for the conversion. So for $200 in Canuck bucks, and you get the modular copper molded tray system. I love these. You know when you go to a restaurant and they try to church things up by adding, like hand-picked mushrooms or whatever, as if it's going to taste differently if a machine goes doink or a person goes or a truffle pig goes nerk. The noise that truffle pigs make. Anyway, so it's copper molded. It's a copper molded tray system. It doesn't look like, or else they would put their logo on it. It doesn't look like they went with game trays with these inserts. They did hire game trays to make the insert for Tricarion, the collector's edition, and man, that was my introduction to game trays, and I was blown away. They were fantastic. The trays in Anachrony weren't done, in the Anachrony Affinity box, weren't done by game trays. And I can tell the quality's not as nice as if they had gone with game trays. They're vacuum form trays, and they're quite deep, and they feel a little bit flimsier than I think they should. Yeah, game trays, their trays are a work of art. I completely agree, Fractal Dream. 32 Corvette miniatures. Is Corvette, is that a trademarked word? Corvette? Let's find out, shall we, together? To dictionary.com. Corvette. No. Oh wow. The name of the card is taken from the name of a warship of the old Satan class. Corvette means is a boat. Did you know that? I don't know. We're learning something today. Century miniatures. So yeah, you get all these spaceship miniatures, and there are the insertable house sheets into those dual layer boards. So if they're not insertable in the base game, what do they look like then? Let me just scroll up. I don't think I noticed. What does it look like? They're just pre-printed, I guess. So is that even a thing? This is inserting the sheet into the board even, does it matter? I don't know. Ooh, triple layered player boards. Population dice. Triple layered, exactly. Thank you for pointing that out, Oberon. They didn't use game trays for Anachrony, so this doesn't surprise. Yeah, I think my gut feeling would say that they, game trays probably cost too much. That's my guess, anyway. But they do fantastic work. I really like these little corruption dice cups. So I haven't looked too deep into it. In fact, if we go over to BoardGameGeek, check this out. If you go to I don't know if you knew this, but if you're interested in a game on BoardGameGeek, and you have an account, which is free, you can go there and you could subscribe to it. And then any new thing that anybody posts about that game will show up on your mail feed. So here's my mail feed for Voidfall. It has all this Voidfall info. And I was just, I'll read it later. And I didn't. So I don't know a huge ton about the game, but I do know that there is a malevolent force that's really screwing up. And you saw that was an excellent shot by by the way, in the video up here. I liked what they did. Let's see if I can scrub through and find it, where they showed really, I think, clearly how the corruption thing messes with you.
Its cosmic corruption
Look at this.
cripple your
Doink, doink, doink. You can't put the card there. Simple, right? Really, I thought that was really effective. That was smart. But the point, though, is in the upgraded version, so they look like... Where is it? That's the thing. Here's the upgraded components. They're these little cups. And so this reminds me a little bit of Coimbra. If you've played that, there's little castle-y cups that you put your dice in. So that's, I guess, how you depict that your dice are hosed by the bad aliens. Plus all unlocked stretch goals. Okay, the add-ons. So so they sent me some add-ons for Anachrony, and I was like, oh, I would never pay for this with my own money. But after playing with them, I'm like, oh man, if I were a rich man, yada da da da. I mean, stuff's nice. It's nice. I'm not gonna lie. It's nice. So it looks like, oh my gosh, they're metal. So for an extra $35, you got metal. Oh, that's surprising. $35 for metal military tokens and metal guild tokens. Upgrade your galactic sectors with 72 double-sided structure tokens enamel painted on both sides. They're 3 millimeters thick. So what they did with Anachrony is they made the cubes metal, and they're really nice to play with. And then you have these cardboard chits that, if you don't know Anachrony, one of the phases in the game, you have to put these chits in your hand, and it's a big secret. You put your hand in the middle of the table, and then you go, brah, and everybody reveals at the same time, and then stuff happens with the chits. But the deal with those triangular chits is that you're putting them in your sweaty, filthy palms of your hands, and they get all coated in bacteria, and little mother germs make me clean. So it's really nice because the upgrade, they're plastic, and I feel a lot better putting like heat transferred, or like, I don't know what the process is, but ink applied to plastic chits in my hands, so that I know that I'm not getting them disgusting. They're not corroding me up. It's much better. I would never play, says Oberon, I would never play Anachrony without those metal cubes and the exosuits. I know, that's another upgrade they did with Anachrony. Obviously, it was designed for the Kickstarter campaign to have, it's the same kind of thing, I guess, here with Voidfall. You can go, I mean, if you want to play the game like a dirty poor with these cardboard ships, you can do that. Oh, thank you so much. Who is this? Is Mezzon, not you? That should be Mezzo, not you, I'm guessing is your username. Thanks so much for the follow. You can play like a filthy vagabond hobo with your cardboard ships. Sure, knock yourself out. But, like, can you really... If you're going to buy this game, why would you ever not buy this with the little ships on the stands? I mean, that's a massive part of the appeal. And I'm with you. Like, if I had to go to somebody's house and play with their cardboard components now with Anachrony, I would very congenially bow out and fake that I had some life-threatening disease and get the heck out of there. What else do we have? Stretch goals. Okay, I'm not a big stretch goals. I don't know. Stretch goals, I don't get. I'm never swayed by them. I don't know if you are. And I never make it this far down a Kickstarter page before deciding to back. Your mileage may vary. The awkwardness of hauling that infinity box is worth it. Yeah, the infinity box is like, oh my god, lift from the knees like a peasant, says Mezza, not you. DJ Mike V says 626 top tier backers. That's and 56 standard tier backers. That's an excellent point. Well, remind me of that when we actually go and look at what the reward tiers are and how many people have backed. Anyway, by the time we get down to stretch goals, you got to know that a lot of this Kickstarter stuff, like the idea behind Kickstarter is supposed to be, hey, I'm a scrappy upstart and I have this idea for a game or a concert, an album, whatever it is, and you can help me make it possible. And if I raise the money, I'll be able to do it. And if I don't raise the money, maybe I won't do it, or back to the drawing board, I'll cook up something else. It's not really the case with board games. Like, they're making this game. There's like, I don't think that if a lot of these publishers, there's a lot of huge publishers on Kickstarter. I think that if they got, didn't make their goal or got $0 through the Kickstarter, they'd still make the game. Like, they've already spent a significant amount of money on this thing so far. On this artwork is finished, right? When we look at Drop Drive just after this one, you'll see it'll be an interesting contrast, because you'll see a project that is less finished and what that looks like. So what do we get? There's a new special hex with a stretch goal. So yeah, stretch goal is like, oh, if we hit this funding target, we'll do this. But it's like, come on, guys, look, they already paid O'Toole to do the artwork for this. Do you think they're not going to produce this? They're gonna produce it. I don't know, stretch goals, they're a little bit nonsense. The companion app, an optional free companion web app for Voidfall. That's ballsy. And I'll only say that because I know that there's a contingency of board gamers, I'm not among them, who, when they see anything app related for a board game, they're like, oh, it's not a board game. It's not a board game. I'm not going to play. No, it's an app. No, that's a video game. You can't have your eyeballs on a screen when you're playing a board game. I don't know why they talk like this, but this is the voice I'm giving them, because I picture this is how they sound, because they're petulant and dumb. I think it's dumb. Come on. Give me a break. So especially games that rely on a companion app. So Forgotten Waters or Mansions of Madness, or there are others. Alchemists is another one. They get their backs up. I don't get my back up. So it's interesting. I wonder if anybody looks at that and goes, companion app, forget about it. No. They all talk like that. Yeah, you're right. Thank you for confirming, DJ Buckby. Down with the app says, Mezzo, are you one of these, forget it if there's an app? Is that your voice? I'm not going to play the game at all. Mezzo's desperately searching for the unfollow button now. My opinion, I don't mind apps at all. And with Alchemists, you don't need the app. You don't need it. You could have, here's what they do with Alchemists. You could have some schmo in the corner who doesn't get to play and who just sits there. They're giving you all the components and puts together kind of like a DM board, like a Dungeon Master board, and randomizes everything for you. And when you try to make a match, that poor schmuck in the corner can say yes, it's a match, or no, it's not a match. You can do it. I guess it's kind of like apocalypse proof or something, but man, I wouldn't want to. I'm sure if it's the apocalypse, I've got more important things than playing Alchemists. Stretch goals, says DJ Murphy, mean nothing to me. Yeah, same. I just kind of skip them. Just got here, but you covered Drop Drive. Varus, no, I haven't. So we're gonna just looking at Voidfall now, and then we'll go and look at Drop Drive. And I have special insight on Drop Drive because the Facia Games commissioned me to do a how to play video for it, which is out today on Rado's channel. If you haven't checked it out, then I encourage you to. Not right now because we're doing something. But what else do we have? We have sexy looking 3D mock-ups of how different mechanics work, and they look pretty. That kind of stuff. It does not move me. These are just looks like clips they've taken from their video above and turned into animated GIFs. Fine. Oh no, they're different. They're different than are in the video. And this is more about how the game plays. I don't know if you're like me. I thought this was an excellent shot too, by the way, in the sizzle reel up at the top. That depiction of things shooting and shields happening. I've got something like that in my Black Angel video, but I'll show it to you. It's not. I took a picture of a soap bubble and I put it around the ship to make a shield. It's not sexy at all. Great. So this is more about gameplay, and this, honestly, I mean, they can spend the time and money and effort putting this out there, and a lot of people want to know it. I'm not one of those people. I'm looking for that thing right there. That sliding into a triple layered board would usually be enough for me to go, oh my god, take all the money that I don't have. Click the button. Mason says, I'm looking at this, but I already have Eclipse. Oh yeah, thank you. I forgot to mention Eclipse. It seems like it's a very similar space. I get what you did there. I liked Eclipse, but I haven't played it in ages because I'm a big space nut. I like sci-fi stuff, but the people I play with, I don't think are as into it. And I think the people who watch this channel, I suspect are into it. I think you guys like space like I like space. Oberon says, I'm all for companion apps and such. Foreteller and such are awesome. Foreteller I don't know. But a game that must be played with an app, that's not a deal breaker, but that's a red flag. Tell me why. Device compatibility, yeah, I agree. Lifespan, app support, all concerns. Totally agree. I think that my dividing line, if they make the thing available for PC/Mac, great. because I'm running stuff like from goodoldgames.com, it was software from 1984, and I can run it on an emulator. It's the App Store stuff that I get a little bit nervous about. I used to develop apps. I had a video game company, and we would develop apps, and then Apple would come up with a new phone with a different screen size, and they'd say now everybody's graphics have to be double the resolution, and if they're not, we'll just kick your game off the store, or we'll end of life it. It's like, what the hell? And then the other thing is that, if you don't know, if you have anything on the App Store for sale, you have to pay Apple an annual fee and keep it going. I forget what it is. It's low. It's like $100 a year or something, but you can't let it lapse, or else again your stuff's out of the store. It's not available. So I get it. That's a very valid concern. But as long as it's available on good old PC, the app, then I think it's a lot safer. Also, just getting through, Fractal says, getting through the screening process is a challenge on those stores. Yeah. I'm getting some nom flashbacks now, remembering my app development days. It wasn't, I wouldn't call it fun. And this was at a time when, I think I mentioned in one of my most recent streams, when Apple was actively combating Adobe on their Flash player and Flash software, and completely kneecapping the livelihoods of 2 million different developers, of which I was one. So it was a rough time. I'm not in a huge hurry to support Apple in any way because of it. Great. Why pledge now? What is this? The MCG exclusive Galactic box. It will not be sold at traditional retail. Well, I mean, I don't disbelieve you, but once bitten, twice shy. We've been told that before. We were told that with the Seventh Continent. I was told that with Plan B's Century Spice Road, and they came out with a Gollum version that I really, really liked, and they were going to come out, it was going to be a trilogy of games, and they said, oh, no, we're not going to do the other two games with Gollum, so Gollum's just a one-off. And I thought, oh, that's a drag. And then they went and did Gollum versions of everything. So I don't believe you. It's not you specifically, Mind Clash Games. I just don't believe you. I just think you're filthy liars. That's all I'm saying. I'm not saying anything untoward. I just think that you're seething liars. They say it won't be available at retail. Let me tell you, and that's like a technical truth, but let me tell you, Mind Clash's MO, I'm making it sound more insidious than it is. So what they do is they do these big Kickstarter campaigns, and you go all in and you get the crazy box with all the stuff in it. And I think this is great, then they'll take that extra content that you could only get in the Kickstarter, and they'll carve it out into separate retail products. So if you bought Tricarion on the Kickstarter, you get everything shebang into one big box. But then they took, let me think, it's going back a bit. Tricarion, they took the dual cards for 2 players, I believe, and the Magician Powers deck, and they put that and a couple of other things like the large Tricarion stone and the little wooden magicians that they had with the Kickstarter, and they put all those in the separate products. So you can still get it, you just got to pay more money for it. And then we were talking about Anachrony. You go in with the Kickstarter and you get the cool miniatures, the exosuits, and that's still available at retail. It's just not available in one box. You want to buy the exosuits, it's a complete separate box that you have to purchase at retail. So when they say here in the Kickstarter campaign, the exclusive Galactic box will not be sold at traditional retail, I believe them. That box won't, but the contents of the box will probably be parceled off into a separate thing that you can buy at retail. Great, which I love, because if you're not in the know, like let's say it's your first rodeo with board games, and you come in at a time when it's like, after this whole thing is closed, and you thought, oh, I would have really liked to have had that. Now I've missed my opportunity. They don't make you miss the opportunity. They make that available. I appreciate that. Read the details. Okay, read the details. I'm being told that I'm talking out my wazoo. After the campaign, it will only be available directly from us, from our web shop, the Pledge Manager. Yeah, I'm saying that whole box is only going to be available for them, but I'm darn sure that they're going to make, like they've done before, because they did it for Tricarion, they did it for Anachrony. I'm not too sure if they did anything like that for Cerebria, because I haven't followed Cerebria very closely. But Right, so more trying to convince people you can download the rules. I always like to see who they hired for their campaign. They hired Rahado. Who's that? Never heard of him. And these folks, a lot of the people who are following me follow Before You Play, and they like their stuff very much, so check them out. Here is a dégustation de jus, a French YouTuber who I've never seen before. Who is that? Van de Jus. I've never heard of Van de Jus, but I'm sure they're great. And then playthroughs are coming up from Heavy Cardboard, from Rado, Gaming Rules, Paul Grogan. I don't know these guys. One Stop Co-op Shop, I do know. And finally, Not Board Gaming, I've also heard of. Great Q&A. So Paul Grogan has interviewed Nigel. So I was going to say, in my article about why to be excited about this, I was excited about at least one of the designers who I know, David Tortzi. I was trying to get an interview where he pronounced his own name, but it's always people introducing him. David Tortzi, as you know, is a punk, little punk kid. Let me see if I can get a picture of him up here. David Tortzi. Yeah, there he is. That's him. That's David. And then the other guy, the other designer is co-designed. So Nigel Buckle, who I had never heard of, but other people said he developed a Civilization style game that they really like. That I don't know if he's a British fellow, but that is the most British name I've ever heard in my life. So here, I'm going to wiggle my mouse. We're going to make him talk a little bit. Oi, I'm Nigel Buckle, ain't it? He's like Dickensian British. Nigel Buckle. He says it like, I'm Nigel Buckle. I don't know if that's what he sounds like, but I'm assuming probably. Great. A lot of cool artwork from Ian O'Toole if you like that. And the price over here, making myself sick with that spinning. Pledge without a reward defaults to £10 as if, I don't know why it's defaulting to pounds here. I'm in Kanakistan. It should be showing me Canadian funds. 75, 135. So it's just those two. And then DJ Mock V wanted me to compare. Let's just refresh so that we get a refresh on this. Wanted me to compare the number of people going for the base is that's $111 Canadian. How many people? 157 backers for the standard box. Dum-dums, all of them, I would say. Dirty poors. Let me just say, if you're one of those people, 157 backers, you're going to either want to bail right now or up that pledge because you won't be happy seeing what other people are playing with. I promise. For $200, closer to Canadian, or 135 pounds sterling, euro, you get the Galactic box with all the other extra stuff. Cerebria, they split off the Balance faction for 5 to 6 player play. Yeah, see, they do it. Just that box itself isn't going to be available at retail, but the guts of the box will almost definitely be split out into a separate retail package. It just means that you'll potentially be paying more, but the wild card is shipping, isn't it? The wild card is shipping. If you were following the exploits of the worst Tetris player in the world trying to get ships through the Suez Canal and failing miserably, you'll know shipping is going absolutely haywire. And which was it, Assassin's Creed, where they came back and asked everybody for like scads more money to ship the game that they had already backed and paid for shipping on? That makes me nervous, and I'm shying away from a lot of Kickstarters because of that situation. Right, I'm really, really nervous because I wouldn't buy. I've got one that I'm backing by Starling Games against my better judgment. That's one of the dumber decisions I've ever made in my life. But I would not put it past Starling Games to just come back and say, by the way, we want another $500. I'm just because we're Starling Games. Great. Frashman says, also getting through the screening. All right, yeah, I'm caught up. We're going to look at a second Kickstarter before I go back to working. There's Turtsy. The other game that launched today that is space-themed is Drop Drive. Let's watch the video, and then I'll tell you what I know about Drop Drive, because it's quite a bit. Navigate to the star. I'm going to do voiceover because they don't. Mine asteroids and space something. Discover new worlds and so much more. Did that rhyme? Hold on, I got to back that up. Wait. Did they make that rhyme? Okay. from the top. I'm going to VO it. Prepare to drop a galaxy. And explore infinite space. Navigate the stars. Mine asteroids and space salvage. Discover new worlds. And so much more. Drop Drive. So exciting. Instant space. Infinite possibilities. Create your ship. I feel like I'm yelling. Prepare for your journey. Recreate the Big Bang. So adventurous. Choose your experimental drop drive. Set your flight path. Land on alien planets. Deliver passengers. Identify salvage. Sell asteroids. Explore surface. Activate pirates. Yes. True. Encounter pirates. Yes. And other captains. Correct. This game is excellent. Easily the best of the three. This game's a boatload of fun. There's a ton of stuff I love in this game. It's a pretty quick one, but blah, blah, blah. We shouldn't be reviewing things if we've been paid to cover them. Oh, that's pay for play. Anyway, I digress. Cool. So Drop Drive. Any arriving was unintentional, I assure you. Hey, how's it going, Facia Games? Glad you could join us. So, Drop Drive is this. Now, somebody mentioned in those promo quotes 3 games. Facia, maybe you can elucidate or illuminate me. What is the third game? I know that Dungeon Drop was along this line, and then Drop Drive is a sci-fi version of this idea. So, if you want to know what the gist is, you can probably see it from that video. If you know anything about, or you ever watch a Dice Tower video where they just shake out all the contents of the box onto the table, that's what's going on here. So if that, I was going to say, if certain things bug you, it won't be the game for you. If you're cool, that's cool. But if you don't like making a huge mess on your table, avoid. And also, so who's it for, this game? If you can't get Eclipse to the table, but you really want to have an adventure in space, that's who they're trying to target Drop Drive to, because it's a fast-playing thing. And it's the kind of thing where if you're the type of player to roll dice and a die kind of gets hung up a little bit on a tile and it's just tilted like maybe two degrees, and then there's a big argument that ensues about whether it should be re-rolled or not, this game's going to drive you nuts. It's not for, if you go Rain Man on your games like that, this game is not for you. But if you're like way more relaxed about it and you can, kind of flow with it, then you're going to have a good time with this. So there's a plastic sun in the middle of the table, and you take a bunch of components and you shake them and you drop them from about 6 inches high, as you saw, and that creates your play field. Everybody's got a ship. You get a front of the ship and a back of the ship that you connect. And let me see if I can see some. Yeah, there it is, front of the ship and the back of the ship, and they have different cargo slots. And I think I commented last time I was talking about Drop Drive that I've been playing a bunch of Zia Legends of Drift system, and it's there's a lot of stuff going on in Zia that goes on in this game, but like for a way less overhead. So it's a less epic adventure, it's a shorter adventure, it plays more quickly, but a lot of the same concepts. So you're ferrying passengers back and forth, you're grabbing space asteroids to sell at different planets. Some planets want them, some planets don't want them, and when you sell them, it's got a malleable market so that it's changing the prices as you sell different asteroids. There's there's combat, but it's very, very light and simple combat. You roll a die, somebody else rolls a die, bigger number wins. That's like almost all there is to it. You can't quite see on this graphic here, but each ship has a battle rating, so that's just a number that you're able to pop onto your die to modify your battle roll. And then, as you saw, the two halves of the ship will split because you can put different upgrades in between them, and that might modify your battle roll as well. There are captain cards, which is sort of determine how you're going to battle. You can choose to be hostile, or you can choose to be peaceful. These are the planet cards where you go and sell your stuff. Who's following me? Oh gosh, 5 PON5 Pawn. How do we say your name? Spawns. Oh my god, I don't even know. Now, yeah, Phase Shift Games, you say you love Zia. Did you play Zia before coming up with all of this? Now, I should say Zia. A lot of people say Zia. Well, that's just like, I was going to do a joke how to play Zia video, and I was going to bring up Merchants Marauders, and I'd be like, here's how to play Zia. Play Merchants and Marauders, except every single time you say boat, say spaceship, and then end the video. Because they're very, very similar in concept, just like, these two games are, but different in execution for sure. But like, I imagine it's hard to come up with stuff. Like, why wouldn't you be ferrying stuff around, passengers, and buying and selling cargo in space? That seems like a standard thing to do in space, doesn't it? Merchant of Venus is the same thing. It's a space game where you're pick up and deliver and you're running stuff around and selling stuff. Yeah, they all have similarities. I agree. I should go back to your comment. First, Oberon, I missed what you said about the money for Voidfall. Oberon says, for us here in the snowy north, we're both in Canada, it's definitely cheaper if you can get the Kickstarter edition at a local store. Yeah, but one thing I did notice, sorry, popping off back to Voidfall again, a lot of these Kickstarter campaigns have the retailer pledge, where retailers can buy 5-10 copies of a game and then sell it at their brick and mortar store. Mindclash doesn't look like they're offering that. I don't know if like behind closed doors they have a special offer for retailers, but I'd love to buy it from Bliss and let Board Game Bliss take care of the shipping and not have to worry about it. Back to Phase Shift Games. Phase Shift says, okay, Dungeon Drop, these are the three. Dungeon Drop, dropped too deep, and now Drop Drive. Oh, so the first two are still both Dungeon Drop. We also have Tavern Tales in the same size box. What size box is that, you ask? Why, it's this. Look, it's like a little cube. We have Tavern Tales in the same size box, but that reviewer never played it. He meant the main expansion for Dungeon Drop. Oh, I thought you meant you sent it to him and he didn't play it. I thought that's rude. All right. Hi, late, says Poppy. Hey, Poppy, welcome. Did someone tell Ryan that the Chrome still says Fleet the Dice Game? No, nobody mentioned that. Nobody said anything about that. That's not right. Give me, you know what, give me 2 seconds. And we're back. I hope you enjoyed the smooth jazz. Look, I've changed it. Isn't that nice? Poppy scared him away. No, that's one thing I forgot to change. Thank you so much for correcting me on that, Poppy. What was I saying? Right. None of my local game stores do Kickstarters. That's a problem. I know that some of the retailers that I've talked to are mad about Kickstarter. They don't like it for some. I don't know why. I don't know why. They don't like that people can go direct to consumer and sort of bypass them as a middleman and kind of like skip over that whole infrastructure of distributors and suppliers and everything they kind of built a brick and mortar shop around. I know that's part of the ickiness for them. I'm sure a retailer could tell me more about why they don't like it. Oh, you love the hold music. Why, thank you. Hey, Oliver, thank you for joining us. That's Oliver from Tabletop Games Blog, everybody. Drop Drive. Yes, back to Drop Drive. So you have these little, I gotta tell you, Phase Shift Games, we haven't talked about the difficulty of putting that video together. So I got a little note, this is a prototype copy. I talked about the amount of money that Mindclash had obviously already spent on their game, and Phase Shift Games has obviously already spent a ton of money on their thing already to get it to this stage to present it on Kickstarter. But they do have some less completed components in this. So when I say, I feel weird, a lot of the times off the top of these videos I'll say this is, and they'll want me to say this is a prototype version, because not everything is final, right? They don't want to make any promises of quality that they can't meet when they actually go to their factories, and the people in China are like, are you crazy? You can't build that for the price you want, or whatever happens. Or maybe the components are going to get better. But I wanted to show you, this came with a note about this component right here. And the note said, These have been laser cut, and so they shed powder, like plastic powder or something like that. I think these are the components they were talking about. This is the this nav tool idea, and so let me just pop into the Ryan cam here. So they're just like it's a segmented kind of thing, so you can just pop these open, and the idea is each ship has a drop drive rating. So your drop drive rating is 6. So you go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and that's just kind of a measuring tool, and you put that on the table and you drop your ship into the arena, into space from that height. And then on the other side of the ship, you have a rocket drive rating. So let's say your rocket drive rating is 7. Okay, you add a link to make it 7, and that is the bendy-wendy flight path you can describe to move your ship around in space and pick things up that you can go later sell and whatever. So yeah, that's a cool way to do a counter, isn't it? So the message inside the box said, it's being laser cut, so it's gonna kick off a little bit more dust. Man, they weren't kidding. So when I do space games, I try to put this black piece of velvet down on my table. You can see my table. It's just this blonde IKEA wood here because I'm a poor. But the velvet picks up cat hair like you wouldn't believe, and I have this roller and I'm constantly rolling it, and then I'll do the shots and there will still be hairs in the shot, which I can kind of get around with doing different color treatments on it, whatever. But the other prototype component in here, they've created a wood sun, but I had a styrofoam sun, which is fine, but the underside of the styrofoam sun was just shedding styrofoam dandruff everywhere on the table like mad. I was just like, oh my gosh. And then it's funny because when you watch the video, it looks a little bit like Stardust, which is okay. I think it's fine. But just, digital manipulation. And I did do some digital manipulation of a couple of more conspicuous pieces of dandruff. Oh, sorry about that. It's not your fault. In case you saw any, I was trying my best the whole time and you'll see it when we go to Black Angel, because I shot the Black Angel stuff immediately after I shot the drop drive stuff. And so it uses the same black velvet. And so so Black Angel has some drop drive remnants that have been dropped all over the velvet. Anyway, back to the Kickstarter, right? Switching cameras. So what was neat to see was they gave me prototype ships. So the ships were like, if you ever played Alien Frontiers, again by Starling, you got ships kind of like these as score trackers. And I think these are kind of like, I don't know, you can buy these probably by the crateful, right? Phase shift, correct me if I'm wrong. But those were never meant to be the final ships. So it's neat to be able to go through and actually see what their vision for the final thing is. They've got heat transferred wooden pieces as the ships. And I found that the whole idea is when your nav tool is long enough, it's supposed to potentially bounce your ship further away, potentially, the longer this thing is. I found that these, and maybe it was that velvet that I was using, didn't bounce too much. It's going to depend on your table surface too. So maybe these hexagonal wooden pieces get a little bit more bounce to them. Correct, the prototype ships were from the Game Crafter. Yeah, that's what I suspected, as with almost all other components in the prototype. Including the sun? No, you went to Michael's. Don't front, you went to Michael's for the sun. The wood pieces will absolutely bounce more. Yeah, that's what I figured. Because they're heavier too, right? These plastic chips are really, really light. And I actually had to do take after take in the section when I was explaining that a longer nav tool will make your ship bounce more. I was just like, come on, damn it, bounce more. I almost had to like throw it a little bit to make it bounce. I made the sun myself after it shipped to Michael's. Haha, I thought so. Great. Are you a crafter? I'm a crafter. And then the planets that they gave me, this was neat to see too. So the planets were just, these Game Crafter cubes. You kind of got to use your imagination, I guess, if we're talking planets. But here they're looking at more icosahedrons. Is that what those are? Do they list them that way when you go to the factory? Hello, I would like 12 icosahedrons, please. Great. And then the same thing with the salvage in the component box that you'll see. Actually, this is kind of interesting. This is a neat idea. These look like steel girders, which is kind of a neat idea for salvage. In the final thing, they're going to be again heat transferred pieces of, what are those supposed to be? I can't quite see them in the image. And fuel tokens, again, I just got plastic blue token. So when you watch my video, just keep in mind it's prototype. And then I saw hints in the instructions stuff I was reading about anomalies, and I didn't know what those are, but these look like straight up 2001: A Space Odyssey monoliths. So I don't know what's going on with anomalies. So these are both stretch goals. Again, we were saying earlier in the Voidfall one phase shift that not all of us are swayed by stretch goals. And I just saw a discussion on Twitter about people making board game Kickstarters and how they don't like having to do stretch goals. I don't know. While you're here, you might as well let us know whether you find it a burden or you're like, yeah, stretch goals all the way. My contention or my suggestion with Voidfall at least was like they put a lot of production money into. If you bounce back to Voidfall, their stretch goals look like they're complete. Maybe that's part of the illusion, but like, where are they? But I thought there's no way. I can't find them. There's no. Oh, here they are. Stretch goals. Stretch. Here, I'll search the word stretch. Stretch goals. Rally the houses. There's supposed to be an image here, so I don't know what's going on with that. Anyway, I thought there's no way they're not putting those stretch goals into. Or they figure they set the stretch goal here and they know they're going to blow past it. You know what I mean? Let's see where you guys are, by the way. You are at 51,000 pledged of 40. Hey, does that mean that you got your goal? I think it does. Yeah, congratulations, Phase Shift Games. They made their goal. Fantastic. So then this is day one, and it's only been a couple of hours that it's been up. So looking good. When we get into further stuff, let's check the prices here. $27 USD. I believe that I'm going to compare BoardGameBliss.com. Maybe Phase Shift Games will hate my guts for doing this, but this is this is what we do. So Dungeon Drop retails for $20 right now, and $27. I'm trying to remember. I've played Dungeon Drop once, and I'm trying to remember the quality and number of components in the box, and whether that warrants that big price difference because, and again, it's a new game. New stuff costs more money, but we say 27 USD to Canuck bucks is going to be so $34. Includes everything shown under inside the box above. But if you pay $54 US, you get Drop Drive Deluxe. They're doing metal space coins. My goodness, that's ambitious. And I was going to say unnecessary. It is completely unnecessary. Metal coins for any board game are completely unnecessary. Are they super nice to have? You bet your bippy they are. They're quite nice. 5 heat printed wooden playership tokens. Are these an extra 5? You get 5 and you're popping in an extra 5? Because I thought the 5 were part of it. I'm just cruising along here. A complete space arena. 2 neoprene. This is for $79 USD. You guys are really good at the add-ons with Dungeon Drop as well. You get the deluxe components, so you get the metal stuff, you get the extra ships. What did I miss? Oh, I see. The planet tiles are triple layered, so they'll hold where your cubes are. Some games that's super necessary. This one I didn't find so much. Eclipse we talked about earlier. You need recess boards with Eclipse, and I don't know if the second edition has it. The first edition certainly didn't, and it's the kind of game just like Terraforming Mars, where some bozo comes and elbows the table. Progress lost. Terrible. This one, since there were fewer spaces for your cubes to get knocked off, I wouldn't be as worried about it. We're playing a game of On Mars. It's Space Day. We're playing a game of On Mars upstairs in my living room. And what I actually did was, I like my sticky tack. I like my blue tack. I actually put sticky tack on the bottom of my components, the cubes that were, in peril, so that they don't move anywhere. Oh, but way more complex components. Yeah, I figured in Drop Drive, then Dungeon Drop. Increased price for raw materials, especially molded plastic pieces, etc. Yeah, price increase was necessary. I'd like Inside Baseball. I'd love to hear more about that. So you're saying that the cost has gone up when you want to produce unique molded pieces. I'm assuming those planets are unique because I've never seen them anywhere before. You tell me. I don't know. But I'm sure you need custom molds as well for those metal credits as well. Happy to chat with you on here. Okay. Well, yeah, we'll take it offline. We'll yap. Sticky tack trick is a good one. Yeah, it worked. I'm always worried that at the end of the game, I'm going to be like, that was a great day of board gaming. And then I pull the cubes off and it rips a chunk of my board out. It hasn't happened yet. Sticky tack's pretty gentle. A 5th player when you pledge 112 US bucks. And then I saw this. What is this goofy thing? You get like a Death Star. What is happening? The promo pack, is that a component? I saw this just glancing at it. What, you had to tell me, what is this promo pack thing? It looks cool. For details on Shipping Shenanigans Fundraiser Pack, I do want details on the Shipping Shenanigans Fundraiser Pack. Ooh, you're at, for $140, you're adding card sleeves. What else is in here? Colored nav tool pieces. Oh, that looks like the nav tool. Was that a custom piece too? Because I haven't seen that in any other game either. That seemed to me to be pretty unique. You will see. Keep scrolling. Okay, I'm going to keep scrolling. You're probably you know exactly everything that's on this page because you've been obsessing over it for the past many weeks, I'm sure. We saved the best for last. Anomalies are premium game content with unique components that represent game-changing events within the Drop Drive universe. Aha, I see what you're trying to do. You're trying to start an IP. Don't think I can't suss that out. Everybody's doing it. There's no shame. Some are themed around traditional science fiction tropes, while other are machinations of our own design. Below are 2 special anomaly packs that we already have planned. 8 additional anomaly packs will be unveiled throughout this campaign. Ah, I see, as you go, more anomalies. 4 of which will be created by you! Forget it, I got my own work to do. Get somebody else to design your game. No, limited promo pack 2021. Here it goes. Our annual limited promo pack will once again feature an amazing custom metal piece. This year we've created the Death Dodecahedron. Disney, please don't sue us. This pack will contain the metal piece shown above, a standard anomaly card for the anomaly deck, and 3 new explore cards. Here's how this will work. So, set up, replace the anomaly. Okay, this gets into details about how the game actually works. Shuffle the 3 plans data crystal card. Okay, gameplay whenever pirates are activated. The pirates, by the way, they fly around whenever you do commerce at a planet. You've got these pirates that are in the galaxy, and they'll just scoot around and grab asteroids of their colors. And those asteroids are the things that you're trying to grab and sell. So they pick up all the asteroids, and maybe like you were getting yourself in a position to pick up an asteroid on your next turn, and then some idiot pirate comes in and scoops it, or maybe you want to like engineer that situation for somebody else by grabbing a gem to force a pirate later who's going to grab the one that you're going for. I don't know. There's some strategic stuff that can go on there. But they go around picking up all the asteroids, and then when you battle them, you can cruise your ship right into them and then roll a die. And if you get the higher die roll modified by your battle rating, you defeat the pirate, and you get to take all the booty that they've amassed. So it's like if you played Merchants and Marauders, if you played Zia, you know, you've got the one like pinata ship floating around space where you can go and hit it and take all its stuff. Great. Whenever pirates are activated, so they're going and they're grabbing their stuff, move the Death Dodecahedron 3 navlinks toward the nearest planet. If that planet is within 3 navlinks, remove the planets. The star destroy. It's destroyed the planet. Hilarious. Players may attempt to destroy the Death Dodecahedron by encountering it in space and rolling a 6 on their battle die. Each plan's data crystal upgrade they have adds 1 to their roll. I see. So you got to roll a natural 6 or these cards will help you out. If destroyed, remove the Death Dodecahedron and gain $10. Cool. Now, what's up with shipping? It's our special fundraiser expansion pack. So this is an additional thing you can go for. Designed explicitly to help us raise funds to cover the immense freight costs, which is what we talked about before due to the global shipping crisis. It contains content for both Drop Drive and Dungeon Drop. So you get a couple of new classes for Dungeon Drop, and for Drop Drive, 2 different anomalies. And the artwork, by the way, I like the collective that you guys hired. It's not one particular artist, but it's a group of artists. It's one company that hires a bunch of artists, and a lot of the artwork in this one was really fun. And then a special stretch goal, we successfully sold almost 1,100 copies of this fundraiser pack during a special mini campaign in August. If we reach 5/7/9,000 copies sold, we'll add more content spanning both games. Fun. Add-ons, there's more. Oh my god. Right, so these are all the additional. So you've that's interesting. So you've parceled it out so that if people like don't want the metal thing, but they do want the 5th player, or they do want the promo pack, but they don't want the sleeves, then it looks like you've parceled it all out so they can pick and choose. That's nice. I like that. And then more stuff about the flavor of the game, the nice artwork. I really like whoever designed this big space turtle. That's a great thing, and you made a good choice to put it on the front of the box. Look at that guy. Oh my gosh, speaking of look at that guy, it's me. That's the video they commissioned me to do, and who else do they have? And then you say, well, yeah, right, you were complaining about people, touting or just crowing about how great this game is. Yeah, I was paid, but I was paid to do a how to play video. So I'm not here to tell you how great Drop Drive is. I'm just here to teach you how to play. That's how my how to plays go. There is no editorial in my how to plays, you'll notice. I won't say like, you move this piece over here. By the way, the game stinks. I'll never say that. Or I'll never say, by the way, this game is awesome. It's completely neutral. And that's how I sleep at night. Others, not sure how they sleep at night. But what I won't, right. People are like, get a clip of Ryan's live stream and play it everywhere you possibly can. Yes, completely custom, hence the mold costs. Yeah, the planets you're talking about. Vera says, as someone who didn't know about the Dungeon Drop previously, is the best way to get it, this is a question I guess for Phase Shift, through a retailer right now, or will we be able to add it in the Pledge Manager for Drop Drive? Good question. I wonder if it's listed in this upgrade list. Extra copy of Drop Drive Deluxe, Space Arena, matte walls, but doesn't look like Dungeon Drop's in there. So yeah, hopefully Phase Shift can answer you on that one. Dungeon Drop felt different than this one for sure. In Dungeon Drop, you dump all the stuff onto the table, and one of the components is this little gray cube, and so there's all these gray cubes everywhere, and they define the dungeon walls. So what you're doing in Dungeon Drop is you're saying, okay, you're picking 3 cubes. You're saying this one, this one, and this one triangulates. It describes a room of the dungeon that I'm exploring, and within that room maybe there's gold that you can pick up, or maybe there are goblins that you can fight, or maybe there are gems. It's been a while since I played it, but that's how that one works. So it's a little bit different, whereas this one you can see these animated GIFs will kind of depict it for you. This was probably the most informative one. You use that nav tool to drop your ship in, and then you bend it to describe its flight path, and whatever you kind of like scoot by on its flight path you're able to pick up and collect and put on the ship, if you can fit it, if you've got the cargo spaces. Cool. Great. Who else? Slicker Drips did a video. Check his out for sure. Dice Tower's got one. Tantrum House, and who are these guys? Unfiltered Gamer. More Slicker Drips. Great. And then quotes from these guys. What are these here? Stretch goals. Right, stretch goals. Shipping and taxes. Here we go. Game only. Is that the shipping cost? Yeah, that's the shipping cost. So it's the base cost plus, in at least Canada land, another $24 USD. Look at the difference there, by the way, you folks in the US. I got a little bit of flack when we did that live stream with Asmodee, and I said, do you guys want to run a giveaway? And they said, sure. I said, okay, tell me what the parameters are. They said, well, we'll ship to anybody in Canada. So I thought, okay, people aren't going to like it, but I went and wrote up the rules and regs and said, you got to be a resident of Canada in order to win the game. And then a few people were like, yeah, just Canada. Yeah, it's the worst. But what they don't understand is, man, we Canadians get the shaft all the time. No contests are available to Canadians, especially if you live in Quebec. Like, contests are like illegal in Quebec. So we are already used to going and checking rules and regs and going, oh yeah, okay, continental US, all right, fine, we don't qualify. So I thought, like, just once, if there's a contest just for Canadians, I think Americans can survive it. And here we go. Look at these shipping differences. $14 in the US, $24 to ship in Canada. Ouchie McGouchie. That's all I have to say about that. There's the socials and links. So over here, how do you back? You can pledge without a reward for, again, defaults to $10. You can put that to $1 if you want to. Phase Shift probably doesn't like me telling you that. $27 base, and you get the base game, and then you got to go for shipping on top of that. And then I think we saw all of them through the campaign, but they, like I say, they've parceled them out in that list, and you can buy stuff a la carte. For backers who want the, I always like to look at the top tier. For backers, and there's 100, how many people have backed this one so far? 52 people have backed at $147 because they love what Phase Shift does. For backers who want the absolute all-in bundle, complete with all purely optional items, this is it. Don't forget, some of our friends already pre-pledged for the Shipping Shenanigans fundraiser pack on our website. Okay, we're not automatically including that content pack in that pledge. So that's the one thing that's split off from this. Great. Includes huge long list. Fun. No UK. That's interesting. No UK. Yeah, look at that. European Union. That's it, man. You guys split from the EU. You don't get Drop Drive. Forget it. Brits shan't play this game, let alone Nigel Buckle, the most British man on the face of the planet Earth. Nigel Buckle's like, oi, where's me Drop Drive? Great. Oops, I need to add UK to the EU. Yeah, they're two different things now, Facia Games. What do you think you're doing? We'll have copies of Dungeon Drop available in the Pledge Manager for some regions, at least the US and the EU. Otherwise, it's in mass distribution as well. Yeah, and I assume that's because you have the physical copies in places right now and not in other places. So if I'm in Uzbekistan, you just don't have a warehouse in Uzbekistan, I'm guessing. Yup, sigh. Exactly. Yeah. Okay. Great. Cool. Well, that's Drop Drive. Barf as I spin as fast as I can. Now, Tuesdays. Wait. There's one more that we could take a look at, but I don't know if I want to because it's not space. It's dinosaurs. So I don't know. Maybe we'll take a look at that if you think it's a good idea. Let me just take a draft of life-giving Dr. Pepper. Woohoo! Ready to rumble. What am I doing? Right. We're going to talk. Maybe we'll look at the dinosaur one. Dino Saucer's 80s cartoon that bridged dinos and space. Well, now we got to look that up. Forget that thing. Dino Saucers. Is that a real thing? What the heck? How did I not know about this? Dino Saucers. Oh my gosh, let's see. Oh, I was going to say, let's see the intro on YouTube, but I don't want to get a copyright strike. Dino Saucers. I know about, wow, it's rare that somebody can go toe-to-toe with me with obscure 80s cartoon trivia, because I know, of course, all about Dino Riders. That's these guys, where you put like lasers on dinosaurs, because why not? Why wouldn't you? But yeah, wow, Dino Saucers. I'm going to have to look into that on my own time. Great. So this is a work jam. It's not meant to be entertaining at all, and I hope I've lived up to that promise. But usually what I do is I turn on my camera, and whatever work I happen to be doing, I just continue that work. If you're working at home on a thing, maybe just turn me on and have me occasionally babbling in the background. So it gets a lot less interesting from here, folks. If you're used to what work jams look like on my stream, then you know what's coming. But here's Black Angel. Let me catch you up to how this project's been going. This is the how to play video for Black Angel. Pearl Games is the publisher, and they were very wise and kind to send me graphics that I could use to put this together. When I think about doing game videos for free for publishers, that's on my own time at my own discretion. I can put whatever wiener jokes I want into the video. And I keep it to a 3 wiener joke maximum per video, by the way. I approach the publishers and I say, hey, would you be willing to provide high-res artwork for these videos? And if they say no, I don't do the video. That's just how it's going these days, because when they say no, if I were to do it like I did in the olden days a few years ago, I would actually have to take my components from my box, put them on my scanner, scan them, go into Photoshop, cut them out, and the quality doesn't look very good, because I don't know if you've seen printed stuff that you scan and you can see the dot pitch on it. You can see, like, the CMYK dots that went into making the image. It just doesn't look very good at all. So if they provide the graphics, I'll do the video. If they don't provide the graphics, I'll move on to something else. So unfortunately, that happened this week with Zia. I've been playing Zia, and I started writing a script for it, but I thought, I should hit them up and see if they're available to provide graphics. And Zia is a really small team, Far Off Games. They told me 1.5 people, right? So they're working on their on fulfilling their last Kickstarter. So they said, no, we don't have that ready. We don't have time. We're doing this other thing. And I thought, okay, that's fair. Other publishers have told me, like, we don't want to send you our graphics because then you'll pirate our game. And I have to somehow assure them I'm really not in the business of pirating board games. And if I was, I'd probably make more money than I currently do. So this is Black Angel, and I'm splitting it up into 2 different videos. You see this break at the end. So this whole thing up to about minute 35 is the how to play video, and then this whole chunk at the back I'm going to render out separately. This is just this solo mode right here. So another 7 minutes of solo. And this is Edit Pass B, which I don't know if I've caught too much on camera. Edit Pass A is when I got all the photos and I slot them in. And you can see in this picture, I'll make it big for you. Look at all that drop drive nonsense all over the table. The little white flecks you see are from that nav tool. Nah, damn you, phase shift. No, not really. But you can see like this hair up here, this kind of the thing drives me nuts. This hair, I can't see with the naked eye. You think, Ryan, why are you taking pictures with like little cat hairs and stuff all over your table? I have 2 cats. And I'm not. I promise you I'm not. I'm rolling the table fastidiously with that sticky roller. I don't notice it until I get it and it's, huge and 3 times the size of my head on a monitor. I don't see that tiny hair. That hair is probably just a couple of millimeters long. So anyway, I'm gonna have to go in and digitally edit out that hair. There's only so much I can do because it's just, man. I mean, I'll probably make about $3 in ad revenue from this video. So for the 60 hours of work I put into it, it might not. I'm no economist. I'm no mathematician, but it might not work out in my favor. Is everybody still with me? Everybody bailing now? That's fine if you want to bail. I was telling a story a couple of live streams ago about going to church in Harlem and how, it's a big tourist thing. Everybody packs into the gallery. And then when they finish playing all the gospel music, everybody F's right off and they just bolt out of church, all the tourists and, the yahoos and in cargo shorts and Hawaiian shirts, and then all the people who actually go to that church remain for the rest of the service and the message from the pastor. Dare I say Ryan does math? Yeah, Poppy, again, I've forgotten the last 2 streams to do this, but let's do this. Black Angel, Edit Pass B. Anytime that you see me switching topics, if you want to put !M and then whatever I'm doing, that'll set a marker so that when people watch this in reruns, it'll split up the little timeline into different chapters and it'll be easier for them to navigate around. And I'm actually working on a currency system for chat where you can earn points, space bucks, stars, something like that. There'll be a credit system you can earn. So the longer you watch streams, it'll just tick up and you'll just accrue fake currency. And if you set markers with me, then you'll earn fake currency. And then I'll come up with really fun ways for you to spend that fake currency. And they'll be pretty exciting. Of course, different things excite me than maybe excite you. So I have a strange idea of what exciting means. If I'm at risk of people bouncing out of the stream at this point, by the way, I should do a quick little promo. On Friday, if you go to the Discord server, let me get this out of the way. If you go to get out of the way, counter. If you go to the Discord server, one of our patrons, Omelette, is running a Castles of Burgundy tournament. So here's the Discord server again. So if you punch that in, you go to the Discord server and you go to a channel called Game Scheduling and you say, I want in, I want to play Castle of Burgundy. They're going to be playing it on Board Game Arena. So you can sign up with that under the Nice Around a Table group, I presume, and fight to the death on Castles of Burgundy. If you feel weird about Board Game Arena, let's take a look really closely because I get the sense that some people do. If you don't know what it is, it's a site where you can go and play board games. And then some people look at it and they're like, looks maybe dodgy. Like, did the publishers of these board games give these people permission? Yes, they did. The whole site is completely legit. It was actually bought out by Asmodee, who was a big conglomerate that owns a bunch of different publishers, including Catan Studio and Plan B, there's lots anyway, and Lookout Games, I believe. So this is a Lookout game right here, Agricola. Am I right about that? I might be wrong. Anyway, you can play for free, and if you pay a really, really small monthly fee, you can do extra stuff like get in on betas and have more people in the same household playing at the same time. So there's Castles of Burgundy. It's a really nice implementation. It's really fun to play. If you've never played the game, go read up on it. Watch my video for it. It's the very first How to Play video I ever did for Nights Around a Table. Really fun game, and you can... Tourney starts... Oh, thank you so much, DJ Mockfee. Tourney starts on Friday. There's plenty of time to join up, so if you want to join one more time, that's right there on the Discord server. What's going on? Arnak. Fun stuff. Yeah, and Board Game Arena is completely legit. Whenever you see blue on my timeline, it's because I've messed up and I need to go pick up photography, and the way I messed up here is I got it's way too blurry and I didn't depict the right thing. First vid, that's awesome. Yeah, if you want, check this out. YouTube nights around a table, burgundy. Hopefully, I make improvements slowly but surely. DJ MuckV helped me on this stream, tuning up this microphone to get it to sound less harsh. DJ MuckV, tell me if it's too close to my mouth or if that limiter that you suggested is working properly. But here's the very first video that I did on the channel, and the quality, hold on, where's the Ryan shot? So this is me shooting with an old DSLR, and that's the quality I got from it, and that's how good it looked. And I had no lights, I don't think. I didn't buy my lighting kit at this point, so it was just me in the corner of my basement, and I don't have a cyclorama or scrim or a screen behind me, so it's just the corner of my wall. So this is what it looks like when I don't know what I'm doing. Right now, I still don't know what I'm doing, but I know a little bit more about what I'm doing. Oh, look at that. Look how cute and scared he looks. But this is cool. This is a good shot. Still doing the tracing. But check this out. Oh yeah, look at this cool little wiggly crown I put on that guy. Yeah, this mic's still a little hot. Damn it. Hold on, let me turn it down a bit. What are we, like an hour into this thing and the mic's still hot? Okay, hold on. I'll turn it down a little bit. You let me know if that's good and still. I see it going into the yellow as I talk. Fine. Great, so those little tracings that you see, those are Edit Pass B things. And this is how we do them. Could do with more limiting. Yeah, we'll work on it. We'll work on it. This is how we do it. So let me scroll to a part that we haven't done yet. Right around here is where I left off.
These tiles go boost side up instead. Shuffle up the black advanced tech tiles and deal out 4 down here.
This says hair, so this is obviously me removing hair. Where's the hair? I don't see the hair. Anyway. Here's some Edit Pass B stuff.
Players get rid of 6 Ravager cards, and in a 2-player game, get rid of 12. Then you draw 2 Ravager cards and place them on their starting actions.
So those cards that come up from that table don't exist. Those are just graphics that I've animated. Bajoom, bajoom. And you're like, oh, well, you might be thinking like, that looks really, really saturated red and that looks crappy red. It looks like a lot, like it looks almost pink and washed out just because of the way the exposure was set on the camera. One of the things that I do these videos towards the end of the process is I'll go through and I'll color correct them all. And that's a tip that I got from a fellow board game photographer named Kevin Grote, who actually knows how to use cameras. So thank you, Kevin, for that suggestion. I use it in every video now and it makes them look a whole lot better. And that's how I made the drop drive video look a whole lot better, was I was able to take the gain down in a lot of places and hide a lot of these little speckly fluffs that I just can't see with my naked eye. They really, honestly, they don't show up when I'm taking the picture. Then I look at the picture, I'm like, oh my God, where did that come from? It's almost like there's like a black light that I don't get to see until the thing's done. Anyway, here we are.
Player guide.
Right, so this is the point where I'm talking about player guides off the top of the game. So they've provided me the graphics, but I don't know if they're split up yet. So what I actually have to do is go to the place where they provided me the graphics. Punchboard player 8, and I have to cut each one out. So there's 1, 2, 3, and 4. And then it'll get a little bit worse. Oh yeah, and then the other thing is this is like a transparent background, so I actually have to add some white to it, or else it'll just come through transparent, which we don't want. That's ready to go. It's my favorite bit of editing video, color correction and grading. Are you being sarcastic, DJ MuckV? I sense sarcasm, because I don't find it that fun. Maybe you love it, I don't know. So this is player aid 2, and then we'll do player aid 3 and 4. Oh, I forgot to thank PhaseShift before they took off. Thank you, PhaseShift. It's nice to be involved in your project. Congratulations. Oh, you're still here. Wow. Prepare to be wowed, because boy, this is where this this is where the fun stuff happens. I don't know, maybe this is interesting if you want to know where your money went. This is what I'm doing in the back. Now, this is what I call my, this has been a hell project for me. It's just been like, do you have those projects where it just, you think like, I'll finish this in 4 or 5 years. Like you just can't see the end of it. This is like my Lost in La Mancha, that movie that he was trying to make out in the desert, and then there's like a windstorm destroyed all his footage and cameras and everything. This is who am I thinking of? Who's the Pythoner? Terry Gilliam, right? Yeah, poor Terry Gilliam. Exactly. Yeah, this is my Man of La Mancha, and I don't know why, and I don't know why. It's just taken me so long. I used to be able to like hammer these out like once every week or 2 weeks, and this one, there's just so many pieces in Black Angel, and it's just so slow. And I've been thinking about doing a video for On Mars, and it's not nearly as daunting as this. There are far fewer pieces. I'm looking over here to the side just because I have a window open with they're called bins in Premiere Pro, where you store all your graphics for sticking into your video. So I'll just open those player aids over there. Now, what actually has to happen here? Let's listen.
Guide marked 1. Everyone else gets the higher numbered player guides going clockwise around one end of the table, because outer space is a table hog.
So what I want here is I want player aid, player aid, the 3 of them, and then I want them to go donk, donk, donk off the sides of the screen. I don't like reanimating things. So that's a weird thing to say. I don't prefer zombies. I don't like doing work over again. So I'm building up this library of animations. So I'll go into, and I've sort of, it's hard to categorize them, but I've got like cards animations, and I've got portrait cards, uppy downy ones instead of sidey ones. And so I've got a few options. So here's just 3 cards. Here's 3 cards in a hand, discard 1. So these are all cards in a hand, in a fan. So I probably want this one. Let's see. What do you look like? Let's back up and check it out. You look like this. Yeah, that's perfect, except it doesn't do quite what I want at the end, but it gets me most of the way there. So I'll save that to Black Angel construction files. You're going to be player aids. So I can take the end of that and snip it off. I don't need this part where they all kind of pop up. Usually, like, I'll bring cards on, I'll be like, this one, da 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 da, and this one, da da ba do ba do. So none of that's needed right here. I'll just take that away. And these are just the way, this is Adobe Animate, by the way, if you're not familiar. And so the way that this works is these are called movie clips, and they're just like placeholders. So I can go in and replace that with whatever I want. That was Drop Drive. Let's go into, I will delete all your graphics, Drop Drive, P-Shift Games, don't worry, I don't hang on to that stuff. I don't have the hard drive space. So that's another sort of like sticky point for publishers. They don't want to send me their graphics, not necessarily because they're worried that I personally will pirate something, but they just don't want the stuff out in the wild. I can understand, because like, who knows, my hard drive gets stolen, and it happens to be stolen by a nefarious board game pirate. takes it and does like a knockoff version of Catan in some universe. I don't know if that's a thing, and I get that, but I assure people that I delete the graphics when I'm done with them, because I don't have the hard drive space to keep it around. Let me just see what scale I put that at. That is on you are on 40% scale. Great. So we just repeat that here and here. We should be good. Need to channel your inner Werner Herzog. That guy gets the most difficult things done. I have no idea how. I'm trying to think of Werner Herzog movies I've seen. Name one. He does documentaries. He did Grizzly Man. I didn't see Grizzly Man because it sounded very sad and awful. But he did a couple of small ones, didn't he? Did he do the one about the that really weird one about the weird people, and one of them ran a dog cemetery? Was that his? Maybe I'm confusing him with Errol Morris. Is he a documentarian? Errol Morris? Is he a architect? Who am I thinking of? All right, so here's the three that go blang, 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 and then they have to be like, I'm going to take this one, and this is called, in animation, we call this anticipation. So I want to make it wing off the screen, but before you make something go one way, it's good to make it go the opposite way first, because it just, I don't know, it looks cooler and it feels better, and I'm on the wrong layer. So from here, it goes zang, zang, zang. These are called keyframes, so it remembers the position, rotation, and scale of something. And I noticed that this is not in the right. See how it's getting overlapped by this? I just have to switch the, so create classic tween. So you can just tween it, which interpolates the frames. So here it is like, so that's really fast. So you can add easing to make that feel even better. Let me do that. Move my window a little bit. So here it's going to be an ease out. So you'll see it slow down a little bit. It's still really, the whole animation is really short, but and then if you put ease in here, then the more pictures are going to be sort of at the beginning of it. So it's going to it's going to be like a few pictures, lots, a few. So whenever there's lots of pictures, it appears like the motion is slower. So that's what I'm going for here. Right, so it's off the screen, and if you do this, you can mask it so it looks like it goes off the screen. That looks fine to me. So that one goes, and then the next one will go. I don't know if I should yap while I'm doing this. Maybe I should just do it. Anticipation. One of the core principles of animation developed by the Disney animators, as outlined in the book The Illusion of Life, by the 9 old men. Okay. I like to give it a little bit of a spin as it goes. Hey, hachka, whoopsh, whoopsh. And the last one goes to the last player. Great, just have to fix that depth problem. Whoa. Who is it? It's Kai Kogman. Thank you so much for the follow on YouTube. I appreciate that. Just doing some animation if you're just joining me. But my camera is blocking the top left part of my screen, so I gotta move stuff around. Nope. It's hidden. Blank, blank, blank. Great. That looks good to me, so I'll save it and export it now. Here's my secret, one of my big secrets. I don't know how big of a secret this is, but I've got a whole folder full of animations, and I'll create a new folder, and this is called Player Aids. And I export these sequences from Adobe Animate as ping sequences. So it just gives me a ping, a ping, a ping, a ping, a ping. A ping is a file format that supports transparency, so you can do see-through parts. So it's just going to give me 59 individual pictures. Fitzcarraldo comes to mind. Oh yeah, Fitzcarraldo. That's where he moves the shit. Isn't there a movie about the making of Fitzcarraldo? Because it's about a man who does the impossible by moving a boat over a mountain, and then the documentary about the man doing the impossible was also the impossible. Yeah, I don't think I've seen. I haven't seen Fitzcarraldo. Sorry, I'll let you focus and do something useful. Hold on. Now you got me. I tagged this ADHD, so it's okay if I just pop into IMDb and check out some Werner Herzog stuff. Herzog. No, that's not him. There's a movie about him. I need to put in his first name. Werner Herzog. What have I seen by Werner Herzog? From the beginning. No. What have I seen by him? I know I've seen something. I thought I'd seen more than I'd seen from him. There's Grizzly Man. Bad Lieutenant. My son. La Boheme. Cave of Forgotten Dreams. Maybe I've never seen a Werner Herzog movie. Who am I thinking of then? Who am I confusing? Errol Morris. Maybe it's Errol Morris that I thought was Werner Herzog this entire time. Yeah, Fast, Cheap, and Out of Control. I've seen Mr. Death. I've seen Thin Blue Line is one of the best documentaries I've ever seen in my entire life. That was so good. And the cool thing about Thin Blue Line, if you like documentaries, watch the Thin Blue Line and then go to Wikipedia and read about the aftermath of Thin Blue Line, because it's awesome. You'll love it. Yeah, so the whole time I thought I knew Werner Herzog, I'm thinking Errol Morris. Oh, who knew? But on my list, he's pretty incredible. His voice alone is worth the price of admission. I did see him. Did they give him a role in a Star Wars movie? Werner Herzog? I know they gave it to, who's that old movie director? Your project workflow is very similar to Path of Mind. Lots of trips to the internet to check out tangential ideas that pop in my head. Yes. With Baby Yoda. Oh, that's right. Right, he was in The Mandalorian. I thought you meant he voiced Baby Yoda. Could you imagine? I can't do a good German accent, or else I would do Werner Herzog as Baby Yoda. Right. Okay. Back here, I've got bins on the side that you can't see, and I'm just going to one called footage, one called NMs, and I'm making one called player aids. Player aids. It's a user order. I'm constantly fighting with Premiere Pro with the way it displays things. There we go. Player aids. And I've misspelled aids. None of this is interesting. It's all happening off the screen. Player aids. Here we go. And I open the bin and I import it. And here's the trick if you want to do this at home. Don't try this at home, but if you do, go into footage, NMs, go to player aids where all of your 59 pictures are, and you click on the first one and hit image sequence. And that puts that in the bin. And then I also need some still frames, so I know that here's where I want it to hang out for a while. So I'll look at that frame 27, and then the rest is an animation. So all I need to do is import frame 27. And one of the annoying things about this is that it defaults now, everything's going to be an image sequence when I click. So I have to explicitly remember to click that and get it out of there. Okay, so
everyone else gets
right. So when I say everyone else, boom, there's the sequence.
Everyone else gets the
nice. And then on 27, before that one starts moving, I'll cut it and I'll move that over here and I'll put this on here. And I'll find the place where it needs to keep animating.
Higher numbered player guides going clockwise around clockwise.
Right, not clockwise. That's where they're all gonna whiz off. Whiz off? What am I talking about? And then I'll just put I can't see it because it's at the corner of the screen. I'll put a hand. That's my custom default shadow.
Everyone else gets the higher numbered player guides going clockwise around one end of the table because out of space is a table hog. If you're not the starting player, your player guide has.
Oh yeah, and then what I want here is I want to bring them back on. So I'll just like reverse them.
If you're not the.
No, that looks dumb. So there's more to this animation than I thought. Because I have to show at the top of each of those player guides, there's like a special thing that you get, like a special starting resource. So from here, they're all here, and I want them all like so. Copy frames, and I want them to all just kind of come in like at the same time. So like, yeah, like that.
If you're not the starting player, your player guide has some sort of starting benefit that you can take.
Why is there a paper towel on the board? You're so astute, Poppy. Are you ready? Now you have to picture this. You have to picture this. And I have shot the Ryan shot, so I have this, and we can take a look at it in a second. Okay, ready? Here we go.
The starting player is the first person who can coherently gargle Asimov's 3 laws of robotics with orange soda. That person gets the start player token, a paper towel for cleanup, and the player guide marked 1.
Jokes. So I can see the can of orange soda over there. So I was in the middle of the Ryan shoot, and I thought, oh no, I need orange soda for part of this. So my My long-suffering wife Cheryl, I call her, Cheryl, I need orange soda. So she brought me orange soda. And then I had to do a few takes, and usually it's fodder for like a blooper reel because it wasn't I don't know. I thought it would be easy to gargle Asimov's 3 rules of robotics with orange soda. It wasn't.
Everyone else gets the higher numbered player guides going.
Such an idiot. All right, here we go. Let me export this again. Export. Into the Inferno is superb. I love Werner Herzog. What one's that about? Is that about a volcano? I'm guessing. Baby Yoda comment. Okay. So from 60 onward, we can say, give me a new image sequence.
Outer space.
Okay.
If you're not
Right on your, I'll bring that in. Then I'll go back to here.
you're not the starting player, your player guide has some sort of.
And here I have enough outlines. Here's my whole bin so far of all the different tracings I've done to get to this point. Like I say, I'm on minute 34 of 35, so I've got a million different, doodads and wazoos of bits of the board that I've traced to highlight different things for people. So I think, when I just need to highlight something like this, I'll just go find something like this, like a circle that I've used for something else. As long as I remember not to modify it later, because actually, yeah, that's good. So I'll put that there, and I'll do another one on another layer, and I'll put it not big enough. I don't know. It's kind of bugging me because I'm highlighting non-circular things with a circle. I know. Does it suck? That's where I really get into like Ryan, you're too picky. I'd actually go and retrace that as a box. Because look how I don't like this. I don't like it. I don't like it. So let's do tracing instead. So we'll do this, and we'll say starting resources, or something like that. Doesn't matter because nobody's going to see it. And we'll go into animate again into my outlines file, and I'll say starting resources, just to label the layer so I can find things easier later if I have to change it. Then in the stills folder, there it is. Lock it, boom. And X rectangle. And I also found like you're doing white highlights on white stuff doesn't show up that well, so I got to pick a different color. And so many colors are in use in this game. I went with green. I don't know if it's the best choice, but I don't know. It's something. So wherever I can't go white, I'll go green. You're glad you find ways to amuse myself during these videos. Yeah, I have a good time. I have a feeling nobody else does, but I'm enjoying myself. There we go. Right there, right there, right there. Lock it. And then I have it set to automatically white glow it, but for green I have to go in and manually do something else to make it green. Starting resources in the outlines folder. Back to Premiere. So I drag that in on a folder that you can't see because it's off the screen.
Your player guide has some sort of starting benefit on it that you can take now.
Perfect. Much better. So that blue is another reshoot that I have to do because I messed up somewhere. The only reason I'm moving my window around is because, like I say, my camera is blocking that top left part of the screen, which I didn't think would be a big problem, especially looking at Kickstarters, but now...
Everyone grabs one
Okay.
die from each depot, rolls those dice, and places them in the respective compartments. If you set up for a 2-player game, you take a non-player robot color and put one robot in each depot to represent a dummy player. Roll one of each die for the dummy player, just to give you and your opponent more options. You can both buy dice from the dummy, like you would a real player. Whenever you or your opponent choose sequence B, the dummy player's non-zero the dummy player's opponent choose
Right here, I'll put a marker so I know where to get it, and then I have other spots in the video where I bring this in.
The first thing you...
I'll just find one that shows sequence B right there. That's what I want. To the end of the video. Look how close we are. Look how close we are to the end. Oh, it's exciting.
Choose sequence B, the dummy player's non-zero dice stay in the compartment. But dice with zeros on them go back to the depot. Then
I wish I could find a keyboard shortcut. I haven't looked hard enough yet, but to opacity 0 clips at a stroke of a key instead of having to do this, find it up here and swipe down. If you use Premiere a lot and you know, let me know.
Depot. Then for each robot the dummy has in a depot, if the dummy has no dice left in its each robot each
Oh, I remember. I came up with the whole space playlist for this, didn't I? There we go.
robot the dummy for each robot the
Spacey.
each robot the dummy has in a depot. For each robot the dummy has in a depot, if the dummy has no dice left in its compartment matching that color, roll one of those dice and give it to the dummy. So he
What are you guys working on today?
So here, the white dummy has...
Oh.
So here, the white dummy has a blue star and a yellow one.
Gotta get the garage cleaned out. Oh my gosh. My wife Cheryl has been working very diligently on cleaning out our cold cellar because I am fat.
Blue star and a yellow.
And I don't want to, I want to go to Gen Con or hit a market next year because I think it's extremely important to my channel's development. But I got it in my head that I can't go fat. So I want to, I'm already counting calories and everything, I've been for a while. But I want to kick it up a notch and add a bit of muscle to my frame to help with that goal. So I have in the same room that my fabled 3D printer is in, I have a workout bench, and I want to be able to use it. However, it is presently covered with 3D printing related accoutrements and crafts, fabric, old clothes for donation. Like, you know, it's turned into one of those rooms where you just can't, you can barely squeeze in, you know, because it's like the closet in Sunset Boulevard or something like that. So Cheryl's cleaning out the cold cellar, and she gets in these nesting moods, and I said to her, like, are you sure you don't want to clean out the furnace room? Are you sure that's not where you want to be? And I'd be like chipping away at it and trying to bring stuff, but so much stuff I look at it, I'm like, I have no idea where this goes. This doesn't belong to me. So she said that she's doing the cold cellar. She swallowed the spider to catch the fly. She's doing the cold cellar to move stuff from the furnace room into the cold cellar in order to clean out. So that's the eventual goal.
And a yellow 1.
But yay, now I can sing to songs I don't know while I work. I mentioned that this is a trial of a music service I'm using called Epidemic Sound. And that trial ends like tomorrow, so I'm canceling it today because I want to try out one of their competitors. The thing that I didn't like about Epidemic Sound is that there is no shuffle. You put all the stuff you want in a playlist. There's no shuffle and there's no repeat. So once this ends, I'll have to go back into the browser, which I don't like doing during a stream, and hit play on the first track. And it's the same order as anyway. Silly, right?
It's a blue star and a yellow 1.
Why is that not doing its thing?
A human. A human player.
Oh, my concussion, right, I forgot about your concussion. My concussion is an impediment to getting anything done right now. This is peaceful and friendly, so I'm watching you and trying to relax. Wow, I'm glad. I have to admit I don't feel very relaxed. It's hard to feel relaxed with the cameras pointed at you. Speaking of music, where did you get the music in the back of the Cat Lady video? I've made a soundboard for our family game nights and would rather use that for a bit than listen to the boys' rendition again. The music that I used in the back of the Cat Lady video, is that for the... I'm just going to pause this sci-fi stuff and we'll take a real quick look here. By the way, I had this open. Do you know where I can get one of these? They say, yeah, well, duh, that's an Amazon link. But you go to Amazon, look, check this out. I really want a space helmet like... Not like this kind of space helmet. I want this. I want like the golden age of sci-fi ridiculous globe helmet. And I don't know. But this is like currently unavailable. Don't know when we'll get them back in stock. I haven't been able to find just a big, dumb globe space helmet. What were we doing? We were talking about Cat Lady. YouTube Cat Lady. That's 2. The music. I assume it's the stuff that I used in the... oh yeah. This video didn't go so well. I don't think people liked seeing me in a wig. So let me just find one of the titles. That's Pippin the cat and Ripley the cat, and they were both fed treats. And they were both acting up.
Play multiple spray bottles
Okay.
in turn.
Are you talking about that music? You inspire so much useless Nights Around the Table trivia. That music is the theme for Nights Around a Table that I played on my keyboard with a cat MIDI, I think. So if you listen at the end, dum 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 dum. So I just went meow 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 meow. It's the same theme. I had no idea you did Cat Lady. I never searched for a video when I played. Wait, so what are we... Oh, Varys was asking. I'm sorry. Varys, yeah, that's the Nights Around the Table theme a la cat. My boys were doing that whole dang game. I love it. I wonder if I still have it. Like I say, I delete things after I do these videos because I just don't have the storage space to keep everything, despite owning a 2 terabyte drive. It fills up quick when you're doing video. So let's see how to play Cat Lady. Yeah, that video was ridiculous. It did not do well for me. So that's the... no, it doesn't look like I have that separately. I think that's how I created that. Silly. Hey there. Hey, best at Star Trek. Is your name true? Are you really the best at Star Trek? And what are we talking about, really? Are we talking about Star Trek, the graphic adventure game from 1987, I'm assuming? Or are we talking about Star Trek Catan? What do you mean the best at Star Trek? Please tell us. Oh, well, thanks anyway. I might be able, you know what? I might be able to go into the MP4 and like cut it, but it'll only be that one little snippet. Like I didn't do a whole version of it. That's funny.
A human player has decided to run sequence B, so the blue star goes back to the depot. The dummy has one robot in all 3 depots. Remember, one robot in all 3 depots. In all 3 depots.
You're the best at Crew VR, Star Trek Crew VR. Is that where like, is that the one that's kind of like Captain Sonar, where everybody's like on the bridge and you can set up your living room like it's the Star Trek bridge? Is that what we're talking about? Over 9,000 Klingons eliminated for the Federation. Hot damn. Tell me if that's the one that we're talking about, because that looked pretty neat. I must admit, I've only seen, I think, about 3 episodes of Star Trek in my entire life. The original. I haven't even seen any Deep Space Nine or Voyager or New Generation, Next Generation.
In all 3 depots. So you roll it.
I grew up the only child of a single parent, and she didn't like Star Trek, so I didn't see Star Trek. It's just how it went.
Die for the dummy from every depot except yellow, since the dummy already has a yellow.
I know, call child services.
Yellow die. A yellow die before the player takes and rolls his or her own dice.
Another thing that I'm trying to do with these videos is when I did the Mythic Mischief video and when I did Drop Drive, I added a bunch of sound effects because I noticed I'm always trying to look for a point of difference, a competitive edge. And I noticed that the other guys don't do a lot of sound effect stuff. So I think that when you see this thing finally at the end of the week, if I've found enough time to do it, I'm going to add, dice rolling sound effects and little, like, it's so weird. Like there are so many, I need incidentals, and I got better at it with the Drop Drive one, and I've been saving them into a library too. But I need the sound of putting a thing in a place. So, what do you search in libraries for that? Put, like, people don't classify sound effects like that. I could record them myself too, of course, but I'm kind of like getting sound effects of other stuff, and whenever I hear like a tiny little like bloop, or I can't even make it with my mouth, just like a little bloop, like a really subtle thing, I'll go and I'll excise that and make it its own file so I can use it as a just a plop of put
from every depot.
I picked up Night Cage because the second it dropped it sold out. Bought it for $35 already, worth $85. Crazy. What on earth is Night Cage? Best of Star Trek, you're introducing us to some new things. It's the same game, very good. Maybe I shouldn't open it. I don't know what Night Cage is. Let me know.
Except yellow. From every depot except yellow, since the dummy already has a yellow die, before the player takes and rolls his or her own dice.
So you're going to hear rolling sound effects.
During gameplay, anytime a player moves a robot into a dice depot, you bump out a dummy robot. You bump out a dummy robot. So the
look where we are.
So the dummy.
Say it.
So the dummy may end up rolling fewer or no dice by the end of the game.
Say it.
You can also play Black Angel by yourself. Check out my How to Play Black Angel solo video to learn more.
Say the words.
And now you're ready to play Black Angel.
Yay! That's the end of Black Angel Oedipus B. Or it would be if I hadn't realized way too late in the game that I was missing a few graphics from Pearl Games. So you see all these red markers that I put up here. There's 1, 2, 3, 4. There's only like 5 or 6 of them. Those are places where, oh well, this one is hair removal. Check this out. If you watch this screen, so you can always see some hairs here, but that goes pretty quick. But let's see here.
Yes, you can place a card.
Oh, do you see that hair moving over here? Like I didn't even see it. This is big hair.
Yes, you can place a card in a.
So it's like a few shots that I got to do hair removal. Anyway, hair removal. But more importantly, right here, I was just missing the file that had all their tiles on it. Now, when they supplied that file to me, it looks like... So it's going to look better than me scanning the components, but it's still going to take some work because they supplied their punch board to me, which looks like this. So when they take that to the printer and the printer makes a die for it, and then the die punches it all out in rounded rectangles, and there's the player board and all the different tiles you can put on the player board. They just sent me the whole graphic, so I have to go cut it out myself, which isn't too bad. So here's how that goes. So I get the box tool, and I'll have to guess at how round to make the corners. I have Black Angel right behind me. So this is just eyeball work. Here they are. So here's all the tiles. Oh, actually, you know what? I have a pretty good guide over here. So these tiles get placed on this part of the mat. So if I make the corners match this part, so let's say instead of 96, we're looking at 72. And I'll draw a box over there. No, see, it's still too round. So instead of 72, I'll go 64. And draw a box. It's getting closer. So instead of 64, I'll go 48. Nope. 48. How close are we? 48's pretty good. A little bit tighter, I think. 48, 36. Why are you picking these numbers, Ryan? I don't know. Yeah, 36 looks pretty good. So I will draw the box over here. Then I put that below here, and I hit Alt and I hit click, and boom, it masks that whole thing out. And then I'll save that as Black Angel graphics. I'll make a new folder, tiles. I don't know what to call it, tile 1. Just call it tile 1. And undo, 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 undo. And then open up tile 1. And there's all this extra spacer on it, which I can really easily select and crop out. So now that I have that shape for 1, it's very easy for me to go in here and grab this, so I don't have to repeat that process over and over again. I can just, here, let's get rid of this guy. No, get away. Also you, don't need you. All done with you as well. And you. Followed by you. Oh my lord, how much stuff do I have open here? Get out of here. There's so much, there's so many. This is what I was doing to all these graphics too, because then when they supply me with their cards, the die is what rounds the corners, right? The die cuts out the cards. So I get them just as rectangles. So if I want them looking like cards, I have to actually create a macro that opens up all the graphics one after another, and rounds on the corners for me really quickly. But just the way that these graphics were laid out, I couldn't do that with these ones. I did that with the drop drive cards. So I would just hit Alt. It makes the layer below it a mask and cuts those corners out for me real quick. Tile 2. Save as tile 1. Yes. So I don't need to do every single tile in the game. There's just a few that I mentioned, and I know that I mentioned the 3 starting tiles. So I'm going to want to get those for sure. Whoa. Ah. I also picked up a Bella Magica, and it isn't even out yet. How did you get it if it's not even out yet? What nonsense are you talking? Is this like the kid who goes to school and is like, hey guys, Mr. T's my dad. You're like, yeah, Bull Roar. No, he's not. And you're like, yeah, he is. I'll show you a picture. And you say, well, where's the picture? I don't have it on me. I'll show you tomorrow. And then somehow tomorrow never comes, and he moves away to Delaware. All right, here, what are we looking at? We're looking at Bellum Magica. So many distractions. I love it. You must become the richest of all the evil lords. Fun theme. Yeah, that's right, Maison. I'm making a how to play for Black Angel, and so this is this second big edit pass called Edit Pass B. So the Edit Pass A is me dropping all the photographs in and syncing them up to the voiceover track. And Edit Pass B is me animating cards and tiles on top and tracing things and highlighting different areas of the board. It's out, no reviews. Hi, Omelette. Thank you for joining us. Omelette is our moderator. And yes, Omelette, I did plug, and I'm going to do it again since you're here and you're watching. I'm going to plug the Discord server. So if you go to the Discord server, on Friday, Omelette is hosting a Castles of Burgundy tournament. So if you're interested in that, that's going to be happening on Board Game Arena. But you go to that, here, one more time. You go to that address and go into the game scheduling channel, and you can sign up. And then on Friday, you guys will have a big Castles of Burgundy Battle Royale, which is about as exciting as you can make a game sound when it's about feudal lords redecorating their fiefdoms. Great. It's out, no reviews in English, but it's out, I guess, in a different language. I'm guessing German. We have over 200 games and play every day. Do you seriously? What did you play yesterday? Guy whose dad is Mr. T. What's the new blue-orange game you mentioned? I'm going to look that one up too. Night Cage. Let me look up Night Cage because I haven't heard of it either. Well, actually, let's look at some components for this one, Battle Magica. Are you just here from this publisher promoting this game on my stream? You could be. That's fine. That's fine. I mean, I like the artwork just first glance. I try to get just an impression of things. See if I can like figure out what kind of game it is. Is it a dice worker placement game? BoardGameGeek will actually tell you if you go down here and you look down at mechanisms, which in video game land we call mechanics as developers. Income, market, modular board, automatic resource growth. That's a mechanic? What does that even mean? I don't know. Night Cage. Oh, you played. You're not a poser. This is the funny thing about the word poser. People are like, I'm not a poser, I'm not a poser. But they spell it like that. That's how to spell poser. So anybody who spells poser without a U is a poser. No, I'm just kidding. I'm kidding. This looks cool, though. You said you bought this for 50 and it's worth 80? Look at that scary key. Whoa, spooky. Whoa, what's that guy? What's he doing exactly? Am I allowed to show that on my stream? I don't know. Looks a bit illicit. I'm sure he's just lighting a candle. What a spooky, creepy. What are the mechanics involved here? And who's the publisher? Smirk and Laughter. It's a cooperative game. Ugh. Closing the browser now. How dare you do that to me? Cooperative game of all the rude. I'm not into cooperative games, if you can tell. Back to here. So I've got those three. What has to happen here?
Resources, robots, etc.
All right. So I'm showing 2 cards on a tile.
And other cards and tiles get you stuff. Ships, resources, robots, etc.
Ships, resources, robots, etc. So resources. I need a tile that gets you resources. So let's take a look at this punch board and see if this one does it. This one does not do it. So let's open up the next one. I think Voidfall is going to be worth it. Preston, I mean, what's your familiarity with their other games? Have you played Tricarion? Have you played Anachrony? Have you played Cerebria, or the one that I always forget, Perseverance? Have you played any of those? Answer that first, and then we can keep talking. Because, you know, I hesitate to recommend, you know, I wouldn't recommend Anachrony to my mom. Not that you're my mom. Are you my mom? I wouldn't, certain types of players just like different things. And there's a certain type of player who definitely wouldn't like Voidfall. There's a certain type of player who wouldn't like any particular game. You passed on Black Angel many times, not sure if fixing the ship will be fun. Is that the thing that was holding you back, Best of Star Trek? The whole fixing the ship thing? Here's the thing about fixing the ship. It's not like a game where there's like a pirate ship and you're constantly pumping out builds or repairing planks or anything like that. I've got Puzzle Pirates on the brain. The fixing it, when you fight the bad aliens and you take damage cubes off the ship, that becomes a resource for you. That becomes income. So that's basically like thematically you're fixing the ship, but in reality, you're just harvesting resources to use on other stuff. The price also, aha, you're coming at us from not Canada, but I will put this plug out for people who are in Canada. Check this act out. If you go to Bliss, if you shop at Bliss, and if you don't, you should, because they're great. Black Angel is currently on sale in Kazakhstan. Down from 93 bucks to 60. Oh, it's sold out. Oh, I feel bad for even mentioning it. Oh, I'm so sorry. It was on sale. Oh, I feel like a jerk. It was on sale. You could have had it at that price. This copy, by the way, that I'm using to make this video was sent to me very graciously by DM Explains, who just this morning announced that he's getting rid of his copy. So if you go to the Discord server, there it is, and you hit the buy, sell, trade channel, you can message DM Explains, or just scroll up. He'll be talking about it in the thread, and you can say, I will buy your copy of Black Angel. But if you're in Europe, shipping might be a little bit bonkers, so that might not be the best plan. I don't know. Talk it out with him. I'm pretty new to board games. I only have a few games such as Scythe, Brass, Viticulture, Catan, and Everdell. Everdell. I hate the publisher, but my favorite game ever. Viticulture and Scythe. So you've had your taste of Stonemaier. Brass, which I've never played, but everybody on the Discord server says is excellent. And Catan. I wondered, did you start with Catan, or was something else your gateway? Oh, Space Music. Thank you. Thank you, Poppy. Back to Space Music. Yeah, it's getting kind of stale in here, isn't it? Here we go. Space Music. Go. That immediately cranked the energy in the room up like 1,000%. I grabbed the Innis reprint when it was cheap. Yeah, Innis I haven't played either. That's the one with the wacky, crazy looking tiles. Almost like Spirit Island has those crazy looking tiles too. And Renature is my favorite game. Renature, I don't know. Well, let's take a quick look at it. By the way, where do I find one of those helmets? Let me know, please. If it showed up on my mailbox tomorrow, I would not be mad. Renature. I have this terrible habit of my eyes beeline for the rating, which I'm trying to ignore more and more because who knows. So Renature is a plant-themed game, maybe garden-themed game with these interesting tiles. It looks a bit abstract. My favorite games are not abstract games. I'm a theme lover. These are some nice photos though. But correct me if I'm wrong. Is it tetromino or polyomino? Is it abstract? These look like they're, what, 2 tiles wide? Oh, it looks like, if I could guess, it looks like a domino kind of thing. Double-ended tiles that you're putting on the board with a certain rule set. Let me know if I'm right. Well, let's go back and look at the highly underrated. The mechanics are enclosure, tile placement, area, influence, and majority. Area majority, not my favorite mechanic in a board game, but you say it's good. A lot of other people say it's good too. High-end components and tactical warfare. Tactical warfare involving trees, eh? Like it doesn't. I wouldn't look at that and say that's a tactical warfare game. I mean, unless you read these as mushroom clouds, but I think they're supposed to be trees. Neat. Has anybody else in the chat played Renature? I have heard of it. I now know more about it than I ever did. A lot of nuances. What were we doing? We're playing Space Music and we're looking for... There's the punch board. So let's look... or let's see if the thumbnail size small. Let's go large. Let's see if we can... No. Let's go... Fit page. Oh, it's huge. I'm just looking for one that gives you resources, and the resources look like little diamonds. Is this one? I think this is one. I started with Catan, says Preston, and moved on to Scythe shortly afterward. That's a neat jump. Looking for something more challenging. Yeah, for sure. And a lot of people you'll find when you get deeper into board games, they really don't like anything too lucky or a situation where you can't mitigate your luck. If you look up the rules for Castles of Burgundy, that's an excellent game. Dry as a bone. Dry theme like Catan, but it's a really cool dice worker placement game. And like I say, tournament on Friday. And the other thing that's great about Castles of Burgundy is you get the original version. It sells for like mega cheap. Did somebody just follow? I heard a chime. I was like, did somebody follow? I gotta acknowledge that person. Right, what are we doing? So, would you like Voidfall? Well, I can tell you whether or not you would like Tricarion. One of the drawbacks of these Mind Clash games is they're really involved. So if you don't have a committed group of people to play games with, you'll just never get to play them. When we played Tricarion with 1 new player and 3 people who knew it, and we put all the bells and whistles in, so all the expansion content and everything, it took us 8 hours to play that time. And when we played it online, it took us 6 hours. So everyone seems to talk about Twilight Imperium and how long it takes, but nobody mentions that Tricarion can easily go 6 to 8 hours. What am I doing? Graphics tiles. We just bring these tiles in. I can make up songs to music I don't know. Those wind chimes are freaking me out. Sonar 2 player is way better than Captain Sonar, by the way. Right, Sonar. So these are 2 different games that we're talking about. So there's Captain Sonar, which is the one that requires you to put like a baseball team of players together. And then there's just straight up Sonar, which is the pared down version for just 2 players. And Captain Sonar already is like, 6-on-6 Battleship. So what's the difference between Sonar and Battleship? I don't know. You tell me. There's whiteboards and markers and a big player screen. And your submarine... You're piloting submarines and you're trying to shoot each other out of the water. Oh my goodness, I just remember I had a dream that I was playing a living game of Tricarion with you and other Discorders. Puffy says, it was so weird. Weeks ago. Which magician did I play? Please tell me I was the Red Lotus. I think I would look nice in that dress. After I do all my working out. Not right now. Great, here we go.
Etc.
Okay.
Get you stuff. Ships.
So I need a card that shows
Get you stuff.
ships,
resources, robots.
So I need ships and robots cards, which I should be able to get no problem. Let's go to the yellow cards, which are called orange in the game, which makes no sense whatsoever. Does that look orange to you? Not to me. Go back to small. Ships. Nope. Yep. Right there. And I'll open up the one that I've already rounded, such as my trick. Back. Cool. So I just have to copy this and paste it here and alt-click, and it's rounded and ready to go. That's card number 001. 001. Remember that number? And now we need one that's... What did I say? Ships?
It's ships, resources, robots.
Robots. Card that gives you robots. I think the blue ones might give you robots. And in the game they call blue gray. Again, you tell me you think if this, tell me if it looks like blue or gray. What's one that gives you robots? That one gives you a robot. I want one that gives you pure robots. No, 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 no. Okay, maybe we'll look at green. How long does Voidfall take? All I can tell you is that whatever the box tells you is a lie. That's always the way. Just take whatever the box tells you and add multiple hours. I don't know. And it's interesting too, because there are multiple modes, right? There's a solo mode that's not going to take the same amount of time as the cooperative mode, which probably won't take the same amount of time as the competitive mode. I would assume, and this is just me talking at my ear because I have no idea, but I would assume that a cooperative version of that game would go faster than a competitive, only because I would assume that the game is making some decisions on people's part and sort of reining you into things, whereas when it's just player versus player, there's a lot more leeway to decide whatever you want to do. Like, no idea. And I haven't played, but other people have. There are videos that you can check out on the Kickstarter where people have actually played the thing. There's one with robots. Hooray. Copy that. Go here, paste it, alt, click, save. And this is number 41. Number 1 and number 41. It's a blue-gray. Yeah, a grayish-blue. That's a comedy sketch, isn't it? 41. Is that the parrot sketch? Graphics cards, blue. do we say? 40. Uh-oh. Oh, it's green. Green 41. So I need that, and I need... Ooh, I put it in the wrong place. Whoopsies. Folder. Again, you can't see my folders off to the side of the screen, but you have to take my word for it. So I need that guy, and I need the yellow one. Yes, about cutting cables, I think. Which troop did it? Let's see. We can take a look at what they claim Voidfall takes. Let's see. Does that actually, is that info on? Yeah, 60 to 180 minutes. Lies, I think. Hold on. Tricarians. 60 to 180 minutes. You done us dirty, Mineclash. You done us dirty. I don't believe you. But check this out. We go to Anachrony. Same studio. Same publisher. 30 to 120 minutes. So like half the time on the low end. And that is actually honest. I can't check because BG Stats is on the phone that I'm now using as a camera. But I record all the playtimes for the games I play. And Anachrony goes surprisingly fast. I've been delighted by how quickly it zips by the last couple of times that I played it. So, info, more data. It's going to take at least 2 years before you can play it. Yeah, that's the other thing to keep in mind. DJ McPhee brings up a good point. You back it and you're all excited about it today, but you won't see it for a while. So, I mean, if you want to play anything more immediately, again, Friday, Castles of Burgundy tournament. Also, if you go to the Discord server and jump into the game scheduling channel, we're playing all kinds of games. It's not just Castles of Burgundy. Like almost any hour of the day, you can get in there and say, hey, anybody want to play? And just throw up a link to something on Board Game Arena. And you've got takers. We play a lot. How often do you save while working on your videos? Fry the Cat asks. I think you've seen. I don't think I've seen you click save yet. Saving has gotten way better in, I mean, it took 30, 40 years for us to get to this point, but if the power were to go out right now, it's auto-saving in the background. So I would lose maximum, I don't know, 10, 15 minutes of work, which isn't terrible. And I usually there's a save. I usually compulsively hit Control S, and I might not be doing it just because I'm distracted and I'm talking to you fine folks. But yeah, I save habitually. I save like breathing, and that's from being a computer user in the 80s. Because man, that was less forgiving then, wasn't it? Just like you lose it, it's gone. There's no recovery tools, there's no nothing. You're hosed. Oh, kids today will never know the pain, the strife, the torment. Even like my family was watching Lord of the Rings. They have, the box set with a million different discs. And so they got to a certain point. Everyone's like, you shall be the Fellowship of the Ring. Please insert disc 2. And it's just reminding me of like when you go to the game store and you get, a new graphic adventure game. It'd be on like Monkey Island 2 is on like 18 floppy disks, and you'd go and put one in, play a little bit of it after a while, and then it would say, please insert disc 2. So you would, and then it'd be like, please insert disc 17. You'd be like, well, that's weird. And you put in disc 17. Please insert disc 6 because it's loading libraries and graphics from each disc. Phew, not that bad. Okay. Yeah, it's good. Yeah, 10, 15 minutes of work. I mean, I wouldn't want to do it, but it's not like, it's not like good old 1987 when the whole thing is just pooched. Oh, so much pain. So what I do with these is again, my camera's kind of blocking the area that I need here. I'll move that over. Okay. I will drop a position keyframe. Here, I'll do one and I'll do the rest. And then 1, 2, 3. Ooh, I need more room. 1, 2, 3, keyframe, 1 keyframe, 1 keyframe, back it up. Again, I need more room. Squeeze, thank you. So back it up, and I'll put this 20 pixels higher, and then go to the first frame and take it right off the screen. Off the screen. Then I'll go to this one and I'll do the same thing. Bang, 1, 2, 3, bang, 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 back it up, 520. Go to the first frame and take it off the screen. This is the slow part. It doesn't like me dragging it around because it's got that drop shadow on it, which makes it move more slowly. And then here, position 1, 2, 3, bang, 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 back it up, 520 pixels, back it up to the first one. You can tell I do this a lot, right? I should have paid attention to the number because I could have just punched it in. So this is what they look like. The whole keyframe is because I want it here, then I want it to move up a bit, and then I want it back here again, so that when it comes in, there's a bit of a like a pop, which you've seen in all my videos. Ooh, I did something wrong in one of them. The green one is wrong. The green one's going backwards. All right, green one. Which one are you? Nope. Yep. Listen, green one. Tired of your nonsense. Bang, bang, bang. Those are the 3 that I need, and then at the top, boom, and it's off the screen. Man, I feel like I'm this music. I feel like I'm a hacker. I feel like I'm hacking the mainframe. There they all are. So ships. So now that I've got all the animations the way that I want them, I'll just space them out.
Ships. Resources. Roll.
Just by moving the clips.
New stuff. Ship.
Comes in too early.
Ships. Resources.
Ooh, nope, that's wrong.
Robots. Ships, resources, robots, etc.
And then I'll take them off one by one. Bang, 1, 2, 3. Only 3 frames is all I need to get it off the screen. And then you don't want to do them, you don't want to bring them all off at the same time so that they, most of the time, so they all go like that. That's called twinning in animation, and you want to avoid twinning wherever you can. In character animation, twinning is where you've got a character and like both of the limbs move at the same time like this. You know what I mean? That's twinning, and you don't want to do it because it just makes your character look really robotic. So nobody moves like that unless they are a robot. You kind of like, something always leads, right? You're going to lead with your dominant hand, and the other hand's going to follow when you go to pick something up with 2 hands. So you try never to have stuff moving in exactly the same way at exactly the same time.
Robots, etc.
So just back it up like a frame and then take this guy off. Howdy, y'all, says Benthimo. Sounds futuristic in here, doesn't it, though? Oh my gosh, this is the future. You've reached the future. Thank you for joining us. We just came in from our flying cars and our affordable internet, so glad you could join us. Very nice. It's cool to see how it works. You need more room to make or to make Premiere full screen or a second monitor. I have I'm using the computer that I call the Jerk. I actually have 3 monitors going right now. So if I'm looking over here, it's because I've got my bins and stuff over there. And if I don't really look over there that much, but I've got Streamlabs chatbot open. So yeah, I'm well apprised of the multi-monitor situation. I feel like a day trader with all of my monitors.
Robots, etc.
But you're right, it's crucial.
This symbol with a certain color card on a hex refers to cards that you own or are parked on in outer space.
This symbol with certain colored cards on a hex. Right, so I need one of those symbols. So I'm going to go grab the green one from, and I've been tracing these because they haven't been large enough. So it's going to sound ridiculous, especially if you've seen Mallrats, but the top skill I ever learned in college, or the one that I've practiced and the one that has served me the best in my career, has just been the ability to trace things. See, so this is going to be too small, you know, if I bring it in close enough. So I'm just going to take that, cut it, go over here to animate, hex, paste it, lock that, put a layer above, and it should be a quick job just to like go in with a, nope, that's too thick. Go in with one of these, blam, blam. And as long as I guess at the rounded cornerness angle of this, it should be okay. So rectangle, and I'm gonna say, let's say we'll go 20 pixels. How does that look? Nope, way too much. Okay, we're gonna go 5. Nope, 5's not enough, so let's go 8. Yes, 8's decent. We can get by an 8, and then we'll go probably 6 for the inner one. Yeah, 6 is pretty good. And then I will grab that color and fill. Hello. Hello, please. Filling. Did we fill? Yes, we did. I can't tell because it's the same color. And then I'll grab that color and fill. And then I will grab this color. Not quite black. That's how you make it look authentic. And there, and adjust the thickness of it, which is like going to be something more like that. Get rid of that. There's my symbol. So now that I've traced it, it's going to be resolution independent. So if I group that together, now I can make it as big as I want, and it's never going to lose fidelity. And the size that I want it is probably about that. But notice that the line does not scale along with it. It stays its same thickness even when I scale that thing up. So what I actually have to do is use that and turn it into a shape itself. So now when I scale it up or down, the thickness of that line isn't going to adjust to fit. Does that make any sense? Black Angel graphics icons. Hex. Oh, actually, before I do that, it's very sloppy.
This symbol.
So it uses the same animation as one of these. I'm going to steal one of these and just alt drag on top of there, and it'll borrow. Oh, but it's over there, right? I want the middle one. I want this one.
This symbol with a
Ew, it's kind of like over too far, isn't it? I can fix that in just a second.
certain colored card on a hex refers to card.
So here's how we do that. We right click. Actually, let me add the drop shadow on it first, which I can't see because my camera's blocking it. FX, hand shadow, boom. So you take that and you say nest. And then I can move the whole nest over. Because it's in the middle of the screen, it's just not centered to that central hex and the Black Angel. Right there. Right there. That looks good.
This symbol with a certain colored card on a hex refers to cards that you own or
Great. Almost out of the woods here. It's going to give me problems down here, though.
so here.
Yeah, the colors are wild, eh, Poppy? Pinks and blues, and it's a stunning game, and it was nice too because it just does so much of the work for me. I just took these photographs, and I'm not a good photographer at all. No shocker. But it looks fantastic.
The red chevrons mean that what
Great, so I'm out of the woods on this one, so I can delete this marker. What's next? What am I missing?
depots. Move a robot in the break room into one of the dice depots, apply, and put it in the break room. And this one means that you can. And this one.
So I need to get the tile. Oh, I know. I already have that. My camera. I'm going to move my camera slightly. It's just in the way. There we go. That's way better. And it's the same thing here when I want to bring in something on from the side with a slight bounce. 1, 2, 3. keyframe, 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 back it up. Again, 20 pixels is about the right, so this would be 1590. And move us over a little bit. So on this frame it's here, on this frame it's here, on this frame it's here. And then on this first frame, it's yeeted off the screen. Looks like that.
This one means that you can either move a robot in the break room into one of the dice depots, or vice versa.
And then I can... That's incorrect. I need to actually...
And this one...
I need to highlight that actual symbol because I'm talking about not this one, but this one. What are you going to do? How to play Twa? I have Twa in shrink wrap up on my shelf there, but I haven't touched it. And I noticed that it was like, it looked like it was getting hard to get. Am I wrong about that? I couldn't find it in many places. And the store at the mall, never go shopping for board games in a mall because they got to pay mall rent. But I made the one exception for Twa because I thought it was getting tricky to pick up. What did I just call that? What did I just call this image? I don't remember. I'll just call it switch. There we go. So yeah, so I haven't played it yet, but you bring it up, I assume, because it's the same designers, for folks who don't know, as Black Angel. Some people say they vastly prefer Twa over Black Angel, and other people say the other way around. Twa is too stilted and boring, and Black Angel has a lot more thematic interest to it. One of the things I will say, though, is the thematic interest in Black Angel makes it harder to play. Because I say right off the top of this video that, like, there's a million symbols all over the place, and at least when you're talking about worldly things, there's some sort of, I don't know if the theme makes any sense, there's some sort of connection that you can make to existing things, but when it's sci-fi, all bets are off. You're like, what the heck is this thing supposed to be? You know, like that. This symbol right here is a robot. You're right. This looks nothing like the universal symbol for robot. And I haven't, this kind of looks like, it looks like Cosmo from the Happy Meals from the 80s, I guess, but and the arms. Anyway, I don't know yet if I'm a big fan of Ian O'Toole's artwork. I love the colors he's used in this game. I think they're pretty wild. But I don't know if I love his iconography yet, because I find that with this one and with On Mars, it was his iconography that was holding us back from learning the game very well. We just found it really, really challenging. No, you tell me if you think I'm cracked or if there's reason to what I'm saying.
And this one means that...
Maybe I'll fade that in.
And this one means that you can either...
No, I want this to happen sooner. The whole thing to happen sooner.
And this one means that you can either move a robot in the break room into one of the dice depots. One means that you can either move a robot.
So I have a break room image right here, or a highlight right here.
Robot in the break room into one of the dice.
Do I have a dice depot one? I do. I'll just mask it so the other one doesn't show.
Dice depots. Or
when I say or, I want it to switch. This sounds like they're like, give us Knight Rider, but like not so much that we'll get sued. Yeah, I got you. I'll compose that for you.
Or vice versa. Robot in the break room into one of the dice depots.
What the heck? I've screwed up. What is happening? What is happening? I messed up. I wasn't paying attention.
The robot in the break room into one of the dice depots.
It's definitely not as cool as as Knight Rider.
Into one of the dice depots. vice versa.
Perfect. Fade them both out.
Remember that.
So here I'll put a cut. Fade it out. My favorite only game from Xavier Georges is Ginkgopolis. I've heard such great things about Ginkgopolis. Not the first one to mention it. What do you like about Ginkgopolis? I've never played.
Remember that. Remember that you need robots in the break room if you want to fly ships into outer space, sell your robots to the Javits for points, or move robots into the dice depots so you can roll more of those dice during sequence B.
So I need the fly ships into outer space tile.
The break room if you want to fly.
It's totally. My God, what a rip! What a rip!
Fly ships into outer space.
I once saw a rock concert by a band that made this their opening number. Like this is their not this, but the Knight Rider soundtrack. Knight Rider theme was their intro to them coming on stage, and it was like the coolest thing I had ever seen. And this was in 2004 or something.
Robots to the Javits for points. Outer space. Sell your.
I don't like how high that's coming in now. That should come in the middle of the screen just to match the other one. Perfectionism. Whoopsies. Yeah, it should come in and centered to this one. Is the problem. 1437. Gosh, it's hard to say exactly why you like Ginkgopolis. Because it ain't the theme or the artwork, it's intangible. That's intriguing. It's car-driven engine building with awesome area control mechanic, extremely clever design. Yeah, it's rare that I can say that I like a game because of its mechanics and not its theme. I'm a big theme guy, as you may know. But I'm not attracted by the theme at all.
Fly ships into outer space.
Whoa, you gotta get out of here. You gotta get out of here, Tile.
Outer space.
Get out of here. 1, 2, 3. Bethemo says, Ginkgopolis is high on my to-try list. Where do you try board games these days, though? Like, is it available digitally? Because gone are the days when you can go into a board game cafe. In fact, even like restaurants in my town are saying, like, you're allowed to have your dining room open as long as people provide proof of vaccine. But they're saying, like, we don't want our, $15 an hour minimum wage employee checking people's certificates and like getting punched out when they get mad for showing something fraudulent or not showing something at all. So forget that. So they're closing their dining rooms down because they just don't want their low wage employees to have to deal with what's already proven to be, I think, a pretty angry public.
Sell your robots to the Javits for points, or move robots into the dice depots. Sell your robots for points, or move robots into the dice depots so you can roll more of those dice during sequence.
Opacity 0. This works incredibly well once you know the shortcuts, etc. TTS, Tabletop Simulator. Oh, it's on Tabletop. Now, is it... I mentioned earlier, the stuff on Board Game Arena is legit and is okayed by the publishers. Some stuff on Tabletop Simulator is, some stuff isn't. And I know if that bugs people, they want to know. And it's kind of hard to know with Tabletop Simulator what's been sanctioned and what hasn't. So is there a sanctioned version of it? You can say if it's not. I mean, if you're a cop, you have to tell me. But you can tell me if it's not sanctioned. Just, you know, people like to know. And I think that whole worry about piracy and supporting people is one of the things that's steering people away from things like Board Game Arena, where they don't know it's legit. That's my guess anyway.
So you pick one thing.
Okay, what is missing here?
These cards were formerly outposts in outer space that you owned that have already popped off as the Black Angel.
You know where Tabletop Simulator doesn't work very well at all? I tried it, and I was even going to stream it with the VR helmet on, and I almost hurled. It was not well designed for VR at all, and it made me like super duper barf. So, caveat emptor on that one.
Travel forward. A slash always means or, so you pick one thing. This tile lets you either get...
Okay. So I've talked about this tile. I talked about this tile right here.
Pick one thing. This tile lets you either get a ship...
Heck, the tile comes in too high. I wish that I could take, like in Animate, it's really easy. You could take that whole sequence of the thing sliding on and really, well, I guess I could do it here too by nesting it. I don't know, it just seems like it's easier and straightforward, more straightforward in Animate. All right, nest, yellow tile. I'll just give it a generic name, just so I can take the whole thing and move it down. I don't know, I don't like the way animation works in Premiere at all. I think it is stinky, stinky poop.
This tile...
Which is why I animate everything in Animate and bring it in as a sequence, because it's... The only thing I'll really animate in Premiere is what I just showed you, where I'll bring one thing on and pop it, or maybe three things. But once you get past three things, it gets so unwieldy and ridiculous. And if you have to go in and make adjustments, there's this like under the surface Bezier handle stuff going on with easing, and there's temporal and spatial easing and curves, and it's like mysterious and hidden until you actually have to... Like, I'll show you here. Check this out. This is, I hate this. So here are our keyframes, and if I drop this down, boom, I get this whole panel that shows the curves, and you can go in and like edit the curves, and it's like, oh, like, can I get in closer? I'm sure there's something that zooms in further. I don't know how to do it though, but you have to pull these handles around to describe the easing, and it stinks. It's the worst. Oh, I hate it. I hate it so much.
This tile lets you either get a ship...
Don't go away.
...into your reserve, or move one of your ship.
So spacey. I don't think it's sanctioned, but it's highly designer dependent, their preference. Yeah, well, it might be the designer dependent, but designers don't own the rights to the game. They don't own the right to sell the game. It's the publishers who don't own the rights to sell the game. So the designer could be cool with it because they want as many people playing their game as possible, but they're not in a position to capitalize on that game. So it's not really the designers you got to ask, it's the publishers, right? Many are happy more people are playing. Yes, I agree. Most reasonable designers would rather have people try it and not buy it than have someone buy it and ranking positively. Buy it. My camera's covering up your comments a bit. Then have someone blind buy and hate it and possibly give it a negative review. I hear what you're saying. Put that way, that'd probably have a net positive on their BGG rank. People that like it already buying it, ranking it positively. My computer's too small to handle TTS, says Poppy. It seems cool, but also like a lot of work to make the pieces move. It depends on the game, Poppy. This one, Black Angel, is apparently an unmitigated nightmare to play, and Tricarion was pretty challenging too. People can script macros and stuff that move pieces around for you, and you can hit a button that says, you know, do end of round cleanup and stuff like that. But otherwise, it's just like, it's like playing Goat Simulator. Like, it's just a bunch of stuff in a physics simulation. I also like the BGA and Yucata implement the rules for you. Yeah, I mean, some TTS implementations do it, but the vast majority don't. Hey, nice round table. Hey, Cthulhu, glad you could join us. Good to see you.
Up to 2 tiles.
I'm just just cruising towards the end of the Edipass B for How to Play Black Angel. All these red marks are just a couple of extra tiles that I had to go in and stick in there because I didn't have them yesterday from the publisher.
One thing. This tile lets you either get
And then after that, it's the solo mode. But what I'll probably do within this stream is pop on the Ryan shots, and I'll show you how that process goes because I haven't done that on video yet. This music is getting a little bit on my nerves. I try to get chill stuff. That is not a chill song. It's like, okay, relax, you're in space, we get it.
a ship into your reserve, or
I'm gonna have to highlight these two.
move one of your ships up to 2 tiles.
Whoa, it's blocking. So maybe I want to not have that there. Maybe I want it to come in on the other side, which means I have to redo the animation. $293 plus 20 is $310 something, I think. Math.
This tile lets you either get a ship into your reserve or move one of your ships up to 2 tiles. And that includes launching a ship into outer space.
There's that anticipation I told you about. Let's watch that one more time up here, the little guy in the ship. He goes back and then he goes into outer space.
From the Black Angel hex.
And I really desperately want to use the Jetsons sound effect. I have the sound effects collection down here, the the Hanna-Barbera sound effects collection with the Jetsons thing on it. But though I own the CDs, I don't own the license for the sounds, which stinks. Though I'd so desperately like to use that sound effect. I might buy it. It can only cost like $3 or something. I like to do things by the book, if you haven't noticed. Not that I think I would ever get caught using a sound effect without a license, but I don't know. I think if I'm a creative person and I'm asking, people for money for the stuff I create, I can't, in good conscience, then go and steal people's creative work without paying any money for it. Karma's going to get you doing stuff like that. It's the same when I was running my software firm. A bunch of the other firms, they were small and they would pirate all the software that they used to create games. And I'd be like, well, how can you do that? Like you're selling software. How can you go steal other people's software in order to make the software that you're intending to sell? Like, I don't know, something just rubs me the wrong way.
This time.
So I'm going to highlight these. I'll just call it launch. Back to animate. Is the rules gremlin your super ego? The rules gremlin, I developed him actually for the Tricarian video. That was his first appearance, and it was because of a rule in Tricarian that I thought would be easily misconstrued. And so he was born out of a need to really kind of like make people pay particular attention to rules that I think that they would easily screw up. And in Tricarian, that rule, and he's going to show up too, by the way, in this video for one particular rule. I'll tell you which one in a sec. But in Tricarian, it was the rule that when you buy goods from the market in order to build your tricks, like you're building like the water tank escape and the ghost rings or whatever the heck you're building, when you do that, you get the goods and they're in your storehouse and you build the trick. You don't then expend the goods. You have that piece of glass and it becomes like an eternal piece of glass for some reason. But other tricks require 3 eternal pieces of glass to build them. And it's like, well, I thought the first one was eternal. Why would I need, it's an unexpendable, obviously, piece of glass. Why do I now need 3 unexpendable pieces of glass to build this other trick? Thematically, it's just one place where it just doesn't work. It doesn't make any sense. So I brought in the rules gremlin to highlight, because I'm sure that people would play that game and go like spend the stuff, and if you spend the stuff out of your workhouse, man, it would make the game like impossible to play. So where does he come in this one? He comes in, there's a whole section. If I go back here, There's a whole section somewhere along here where I talk about the way that these black tiles work. All the black tiles have a points cap of 4, and it's written 4 over here, but they don't have to be here to have that points cap. They got the points cap wherever they are on your board, and by tucking cards, it increases the points cap, the threshold of the points you can earn from that card, and you have to be able to, in order to get them into those spots, you have to buy other tiles and pop them off like a conveyor belt to get them in there. But if all 3 of those slots are full and you pop a tile off, it goes next to your board where it still has a 4-point cap, even though it doesn't say. It's a whole thing. It's a whole thing. So I spend a good chunk of this video explaining that whole system, which a lot of people, when they complain about Black Angel, they complain about that. I appreciate that you do things in an ethical way. Why, thank you, Poppy. That's what keeps me down, baby. That's what keeps me from really thriving in this world. But damn it. I'm going to play by the rules or not at all. That's the other thing. Like, you can't be a rules person and then go breaking all kinds of rules. You have to convince yourself that there's order to the universe when it probably isn't. But worst rule ever. I know, DJ McV, you don't like this game, right? Am I correct about that? One of you on the server doesn't like Black Angel at all. And I think one of the major reasons is, well, 1, the fiddliness, and 2, that rule in particular.
Lets you either get a ship into lets you either
right. I really should have brought my water bottle down with me. My bad. My voice is getting
you either get a ship
a little raw.
in
Get a ship. So now that I got the highlight, I'm gonna hit the transition on ship.
either get a ship into your
Comes a little late. Right there.
either get a ship into your reserve, or
And on the cross dissolve, I'll put the other highlight on. Love this game. I hate the end of the game scoring. Yeah, I can see that. Cheryl especially hated the end of the game scoring because and I tooled the whole, when you watch the section about how to score those black tiles, know that this is the situation that happens specifically to Cheryl. So, give me a moment.
Up to 2 tiles. And that
She played the game. She had a black tile that gave her 2 points at the end of the game for every one of these red debris cubes that she collected. And I explained it a few times, but it didn't quite stick. But I said, like, it's got a point cap of 4. She's like, yeah, okay. And then as she played the game, she kept amassing more and more and more red cubes. And I was thinking, like, I hope she knows or she's got a plan or something. But nope. By the end of the game, she's like, ha 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 ha, give me my 2 points per cube. And I'm like, there's a cap. You only get 4 points. She's just got this mountain of cubes.
And that includes launching a
Oh, I shouldn't have gotten rid of that.
ship into outer space, starting from the Black Angel hex. The route
Right here is where it should go. My mistake. Come now.
The Ravager cards all do their own turn.
Great. So that's that part done, and I can get rid of this little red guy. Where did the little red guy go? No. Okay.
Gain 2 points.
How many more red guys? 2 more red guys.
When taking a certain action on the ship. And store a die of a certain
Oh.
color inside your locker for free during sequence B, instead of paying a resource.
That's good. I can get rid of that. Clear selected marker. Because I thought I would have to bring it in because I'm describing what these tiles do in this shot.
Set a die of a certain color to change a die of the indicator. Gain 2 points.
Right, and I was like, I mentioned this fourth type. I'm like, oh no, it's not in the shot, but it was in the next shot.
And store a die
Great.
of a certain color.
So that one's done, and the last one,
One of these boosted tiles.
classic patron mix-up. What is? Bendemo?
To change the color of the die you used, you need to draw 2 cards that match the original color of the die.
Oh.
Tiles to change the. If you used one of these boosted tiles to change the color of the.
I see. Boost tiles to change the color of the... oh, shoot. That was the one thing I didn't ask them for. Oh no, I might not have this. Oh no. They gave me one side of their punch board, but I don't think they gave me the other side, and I need the boost side. I need the boost side. See, they gave me the front one. Is this for Tabletopia? No, this is just a video that's going to air on YouTube. But like you could take all these graphics and make a Tabletopia version of the game, or a tabletop simulator or something. And I think again that's part of the reticence of publishers to send me these graphics, because I could take them and do unauthorized stuff on Tabletop Simulator or whatever. But I don't, because I'm an ethical fellow. So that stinks. I've gone back to them a couple times and said, oh, just one more thing, I need this, and oh, just one more thing, I need that. And now I think I need to go back to them and send them an email, because I'm missing the back of one of these punch boards. That stinks. Yeah, that stinks. I need one of those boosts. Okay, so I can't quite finish that part, but that's fine. That's fine. I'll show you how the Ryan stuff works. Let me just go grab the file. You do get points for unused resources, though. I think you get points for the robot. Okay, so this whole game. Let me put something interesting on the screen. Actually, I'll show you the beginning of the.
Analogies to map onto. Here's the Black Angel flying through outer space. This board represents the inside of that ship. The central area is the break room where the robots hang out and play Parcheesi. You've got some robots there, and so does everybody else. Depending on where you're sitting at the table, you claim the closest quadrant outside the break room. So this is your compartment, and the other compartments belong to the other players. The available dice go in these 3 depots, which the game calls...
Okay, that's not the part that I want. When it shows the Black Angel going through space, it's trying to reach this planet to save humanity and get to this planet Spec. So if you get to planet Spec by the end of the game, then you're allowed to count up your resources for points. So the resources are like little diamonds. They're up here at the top of the screen. Debris cubes don't count, and ships count, and the number of robots you have in the break room, that middle circle, count. But if the ship doesn't reach the planet Spec, you don't get to count any of that stuff as points at the end of the game. It's number of those things divided by 2 gets you the points. Rounded down, I think. So yeah, you do get points for unused resources, but depends. Yeah, you got it. Great, what am I doing? Here I am. What was I doing? Oh yes, I was going to go get you the Ryan shots and show you how that process works. Warning, it's a tad tedious. Footage, R shots. Let me just put it in the right place. See, OBS. Yeah, half a point, that's right. Rounded down, I think. And I made a mistake when I set the whole thing up, because I wanted to show people what it looks like when you have an odd number, and to just reinforce the rounded down thing. But when I did the photography, it actually works out to an even number. So not as good as it could be, but I might even Photoshop out one of the robots so that I can fix that. We'll see. Perfectionism. Right, so here are the Ryan shots, Black Angel, footage, R shots. This sounds like a underwater level in a Mario game. Oh, classic Patreon mix-up. You thought Mach V hated it. Sorry, I see what you're saying, Bathemo. Yeah, who did hate it? It wasn't DJ Mach V. Who hated it? Was it Dr. Threeput? Wow, you tell me. Somebody hated it. Somebody said, I will never play Black Angel. Sorry, this is just transferring over from one drive to another. And then we're ready to rumble. And I'll probably go straight to the... Well, we'll see. All right, ready to rumble. So here's all my Ryans. So you've seen in past iterations of this, or past steps in the process, that wherever there's going to be a Ryan shot, I just record the voiceover and I drop like just a big orange graphic, so I know that's where the host shots go. And then I'll film the Ryan shots separately. So here's the whole glom of me sitting at the table talking it up. So the first thing I do is I right click it and I turn it to orange because all the Ryan shots are going to be orange. The second thing I'll do is I'll color treat it. So the reason why I usually color treatment is a step I do at the very end, but it makes more sense to me just to color treat the Ryan shots to get them looking the way I want them to look, and then I cut them all up and they all look the way they should, instead of cutting them up, putting them all throughout the video, and then having to color treat each one. Does that make any sense? So that's why I do the color treatment in the steps. So the first thing I'll do is I'll hit my white balance selector and grab the area right next to my neck, which I think is supposed to be the whitest area of the screen. And that does nothing. So I will make the temperature a little bit more blue because I like it colder. I like to stray away from yellow. So let's say there. And I think everything else looks, I don't know, halfway decent. Maybe I'll take down the shadows and the blacks a little bit. Maybe my whites go up, but I don't know. I'm pretty happy with the way it looks. I don't think it needs much to it. You correct me if I'm wrong if you think it looks like junk, but I think it looks fine. Now, warning, I try not to swear on my stream. You might hear swears in the undoctored Ryan footage because sometimes frustrating things happen. All right, here we go.
Hi, it's Ryan from Knights Around a Table.
Hi, Ryan.
This is Black Angel, a sci-fi dice...
Yep, and when I screw up, I just stop talking. So I need to zoom in close enough so I can see, this stuff.
Hi, it's Ryan from Knights Around a Table, and this is Black Angel,
Why did it disappear?
a sci-fi dice worker placement game for 1 to 4 players. Let me show you how to play.
And then, right, wipe. It's playing fun games with me here, and it's not showing me the waveform until, I don't know, it's deciding not to. So I'm just going to shut down Premiere because it needs a little nappy nap, and I'll start it up again. Come on, Premiere, you can go to bed. Not responding. Yeah, something's going on with it. Have you calibrated your monitor? I have not. I've not calibrated any of my monitors. And you're thinking like, oh my gosh, he hasn't calibrated his monitor. He hasn't calibrated his monitor. He hasn't calibrated his monitor. Yes. I had not calibrated my 3D printer either for the longest time. Calibration helps, doesn't it? You'd think I would do it more often. This guy. What's got 2 thumbs and hasn't calibrated his monitor? Oh, this music is spooky. Will we ever relaunch Premiere Pro? Tune in. Come on now. Get going. What can I tell you about? Let's surf while we wait for Premiere Pro to launch. Oh, it's coming. It's on the other monitor. What can we look up? Well, we can look at that dinosaur Kickstarter. Ooh, hold on. Let me pause the music. We'll get back to it in a second. No more space. That music's giving me creeps anyway. Right, to the dinosaurs.
The world's first dinosaur park ended in tragedy. The dinosaurs...
Oh. My kid Isabel is practicing drums. You might be able to hear it through the mic upstairs, in case you're wondering what that is.
The park ended in tragedy. The dinosaurs, however, still roam the abandoned island. Now considered an international treasure, this lost world faces modern microbes, viruses, and a hostile environment. It's up to the brave paleoveterinarians to help these magnificent beasts. Paleovet is a quick-moving dice and card game for 2 to 4 players. Roll your dice and use matching symbols to tranquilize dinosaurs. Upgrade your hospital.
What the? You're doing what to the dinosaurs?
Research new treatment.
What treatment? You just tranquilized them.
Most importantly, you'll match symbols to cards in your hospital to cure sick and injured dinosaurs. But you must act quickly and choose your patients wisely. Each dinosaur will only remain asleep for a short time.
Oh.
And if they wake, well, we know how that ends.
Oh, okay.
With a little luck, you can become the most successful paleovet.
So it just... Sound effects seem way loud. Is that the drum sound effects or the audio from the Kickstarter video? Tell me. I don't know what you mean. Will we ever launch Premiere Pro, or will we again discuss the cinematic masterpiece Kung Pao, Enter the Fist? We probably won't talk about Kung Pao. I haven't seen Kung Pao. I've seen scenes from Kung Pao, and that was sufficient. The project is at 38% of its goal. Help bring it to life. Oh, that's dynamic. 83 backers, 34 days to go. $5,000 out of their 15 grand goal. 2 to 4 players. Yeah, the artwork for this, it's not blowing my mind. It looks very aged down. I guess they're trying to appeal, or they want to be able to appeal to a younger demographic. It's a game about shooting tranquilizers at dinosaurs, presuming they're all sick, I guess, and then healing them. This is a design no-no. I can tell you that much for sure. Do you see the proximity of the text coming up against that run? So first of all, there's 2 different shapes on either side of this box. So I would say either go with that angle or go with this swoop, but don't do both. And then make sure there's breathing room between the edges of that shape and the text. I'm going to be Mr. Picky on this. Just point out the things that I don't like. Oh, again, like there's a lot more headroom over here on this shape than there is over here. And that just seems like an alignment issue. So there's some artistic art, not final, one hopes. Ooh, and then a consistency thing. So here we got what's in the box, and it looks like it's trying to be centered to this file folder shape. But then down here, you've got an extreme left justify. And again, not enough breathing room between the text and the edge of this shape, and the weird different edges on each side of this tab. Premiere Pro still loading. And then look at this. The color of this yellow is not the same as this yellow. This is a completely different color than, this is a brassier yellow. Yeah, there are, and if I was putting this together, not that I'm like a maven of design or anything, but I can spot errors, that's for sure. You got this one overlapping the card, this one overlapping the card. These two aren't, but the gap between these two and the card is this much, but down here, the gap between these two and the card is like this much, and I would keep it consistent. Either it's gapped out from the card or it's not. If it is, it's the same amount of gap. And if these can overlap, then sure, why can't these? And if none of them overlap, then don't make these overlap either. You know what I'm saying? Just consistency. And we got an animated GIF down here. These are kind of going a little too quickly for me to even read what's going on. They're not giving me process time. So there's a rule, I think, with the number of characters or the number of words you have on the screen, how long you need to keep them on the screen to give people enough time to read them. And I think that's going a bit fast. Another thing here, this teal is a different color than this teal, and you've seen me drawing these boxes today on things, trying to cut them out and setting the number for the curve on the rounded rectangle. The curve on this rounded rectangle is a different curve than is on this rounded rectangle. It's bigger on this one. It's a smaller value here. Again, be consistent and look at the gap between this purple text and this teal thing. That's way too close for comfort. Yeah, there's some design errors that make the whole thing come across as amateurish. Here again, the breathing room between the text and these shapes is just way too close for comfort here. And then again, a consistency thing. You've got, like, this is obviously the shadow's being cut off on the left edge for some reason, and over here we got a shadow going around the entire shape. We don't see the left edge of this rounded rec, but we see the left edge of this rounded rec. I don't know. It's a little bit messy. Sometimes we have this sketchy background on things that tell us what we're doing, and sometimes we don't. We've got these rounded rec things. Sometimes the edges are cut off. Sometimes they're not. If there was only a job for Kickstarter Design Optimizer, you would be so gainfully employed. There is. I think you're being facetious, but there is people. Companies hire people. I think they hire people more for Kickstarter strategy than they do for design. But there are certainly artists and designers you can hire to actually, make your campaign page look really sharp. Ooh, look at that. Look at the breathing room. Here, almost none, and none at the top and bottom. Here, gobs of it. So, yeah, it's an issue. Let's see what their video looks like real quick.
Welcome to PaleoVet. In this game, players are
paleoveterinarians
who've been...
I'm going to mute him. There's a lighting problem. And then, I don't want to be like, when I make a video, it's like this, da-da-da. But one thing that I would do here to make this video look a lot better is these cards down here, I would like sticky tack into the table and line them up nicely. See how this is like rotated and turned and they're falling away? The dice are nicely arranged, but just these cards down here, the whole thing looks kind of a little bit sloppy. But he's using his hands. I don't use my hands in my video, so I have a little bit more control over how things are arrayed. He's playing upside down too, which isn't the easiest thing to do. But again, look at that. It's like that card slipping under that card, and that's because he's using his hands. It's hard to keep everything nice. At least his camera's locked down. That's good. But he definitely could use some more lighting on that. This is all based on what I've learned. Oh, is this an Edo game? Is this a pencil first game? Who is the B Paleo Vet? Is that by Pencil First? No. Is it called Paleo Vet? That's the other thing. If you, hopefully I just mistyped it. Paleo Vet. Oh, good. Thank God. I was going to say, if you launch on Kickstarter and you don't have a BoardGameGeek page, you have not done... No, it's Absurdist Productions. Huh. Interesting. Interesting. Me, I wouldn't back. What about you? So I take it you're backing this for 2 copies. Yeah, I'm in. I didn't even look at, I didn't even look at how much it cost. What are they asking for here? $3 for a sticker. $39, $50 Canadian for the retail version of Paleo Vet. I don't think that I would pay $50 for what I've seen so far. And I wouldn't have confidence seeing the way that this Kickstarter campaign has been designed. I wouldn't have confidence that the board game components would be nicely designed either. Even though, I mean, they look decent in the pictures. I don't know. You tell me. Have we successfully launched Premiere Pro? We have. Hooray. Are these teals different, Mr. Uncalibrated Monitor? Benthimo, come on. You don't have to have your monitor calibrated to tell if 2 things on the same monitor are different colors. I think you're more thinking of colors of things between 2 different monitors. You give me sass, I'll sass you right back. Listen here, you little turd. Great. Hopefully the peak file loads and we can see the... You guys hear that? Yeah, Izzy's doing it. Izzy's practicing every single day at 4 o'clock now. Izzy also has ADHD like the rest of the family except Cheryl. So one thing that I didn't know about ADHD until I was much, much older is I would always buck against routine. I hated it. Oh, I don't want to be in a box. I don't want to be told what to do, blah, blah, blah. But when you have ADHD, routine helps tremendously to manage symptoms and to be productive and effective. And it's when you don't have routine, you go off the rails that things get really sad and bad.
Hi, it's Ryan from Knights Around a Table, and this is Black Angel, a sci-fi dice worker placement game for 1 to 4 players. Here's the deal.
So that's for the deal series. I'm still doing the deal. I split off the beginning and end of all of my how to play videos. One goes into the deal, which is just the intro synopsis section of the video. And one is at the back end, which is the setup. So I have setup guides for every game that I've done a video for, a how to play video for. And so I need to do 3 different intros for each one. Not for each one, 3 different intros total. You know what I'm saying?
Hi, it's Ryan from Knights Around a Table, and this is...
I would like this video to load. It will soon, I promise.
Black Angel, a sci-fi dice worker placement game for 1 to 4 players. Here's the deal.
Here's the deal. So I can't tell just looking at the waveform whether I'm saying here's the deal or let me show you how to play. But I'm guessing that's going to be the deal.
And this is Black Angel, a sci-fi dice worker placement game for 1 to 4 players. Here's the deal.
Yes, I was right. And this is going to be, let me show you how to play. You can just tell because the waveform is a little bit longer.
Hi.
So these I can get rid of.
Hi, it's Ryan.
One of these days, this video is going to load. Hello. Man, oh man.
Knights Around a Table, and this is Black Angel, a sci-fi...
I'm going to close animate in the background here because maybe it's a RAM issue and it's just complaining. Come now, close down. Yeah, you can tell. You can tell your computer's unhappy when it's slow to even close things. Like, I have the cure. No, I don't want to take my medicine. Whoa, just crashed. Just buggered right off. All right, fine. Do I get to see my video yet?
A sci-fi dice worker placement game for 1 to 4 players. Let me show you how to play.
So this is going to be, here's how to set up, so I can skip both of those. So I have 2 takes that I can audition for the chance to be at the beginning of the video. And once that video loads by Cracky, I'll decide. Man, I don't think I can do this without actually being able to see that video. Come on now. We'll shut down Photoshop as well. Get out of here, Photoshop. Nobody cares what you have to say. What is an Osterhedenmedian? I don't know what that is. You can tell I don't speak German. I bet it's a swear word. I will ask you later how to calibrate my monitors, since it seems like such an important thing to do. I kid.
All these different shapes and symbols. This is a sci-fi game.
Poor little Peter needs a good rest. Yeah, no kidding. I might just have to kill the stream if we don't get this to load. What a pain. Potage. R shots. There we go. I just had to go into the bin. So here's where I forgot my line. So the way I do these is I put the script on the monitor in front of me and I read the line, and then I look at the camera and I do the line. And if I forget, I look at the line again. There's nothing too fancy to it. I don't have a teleprompter. I tried to build one myself, but it didn't work very well.
Shapes and symbols.
Nope. Yeah, there's a look at the script. So that we can scrap. I'll try this. Delete.
Since this is a sci-fi game, a big part of learning it is wrapping your head around all these abstract shapes and symbols, which can be kind of challenging because there aren't a lot of real-world...
Blub, blub. I could already hear the marbles in my mouth before I even crashed and burned on that one. And sometimes I can tell based on the length of the thing that I've crashed and burned. But look, these 3 are all this, or these 4 are all the same length. So these are all good takes.
A big part of learning it is wrapping your mind around all these abstract shapes and symbols, which can be tricky because there aren't a lot of real-world analogies to map...
Blah, 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 ba-doop.
Since this is a sci-fi game, a big part of it is learning what all these abstract shapes and symbols mean, which can be tricky because there aren't a lot of real-world analogies to map onto.
Not bad. Usable, at least. And I do like 1 or 2 for safety. I try to do 3 takes of every line.
Since this is a sci-fi game...
And this one, I'm smiling, and I'll almost always take the smiling one over anything else.
A big part of learning it is wrapping your mind around all these abstract shapes and symbols, which can be tricky because there aren't a lot of real-world analogies to map onto.
I feel like I lost control a little bit at the end there. But it's hard to smile when you're trying to remember the line and you're struggling with the words.
Since this is a sci-fi game, a big part of learning it is wrapping your mind around what all these abstract shapes and symbols mean, which can be tricky because there aren't a lot of real-world analogies to map onto.
I think that's okay. I'm a little bit rubbery-faced, but we'll keep that one. Usually the last take is the one that I'll go with because it's the one where I've had the most practice. So let's audition these 2 and see which is the better take between the 2.
Hi, it's Ryan from Knights Around a Table, and this is Black Angel, a sci-fi dice worker placement game for 1 to 4 players. Let me show you how to play. Hi, it's Ryan from Knights Around a Table, and this is Black Angel, a sci-fi dice worker placement game for 1 to 4 players. Let me show you how to play.
So that one is way better than the first one. It feels friendlier and more relaxed. So that's the one I'll keep. Maybe I'd get over it if I made this my work, but I still can't watch myself on video. Do you ever suffer with that? I used to, man. I'm no celebrity. I'm not a Hollywood celebrity, but you've seen interviews with Hollywood celebrities where they say, "Do you watch yourself?" I'm like, "Oh, I can't watch my own movies." I mean, if that was a hang up of mine, I couldn't do this anymore, right? So I kind of treat it a little bit like that's me, but it's like I'm evaluating, I'm criticizing the guy on the video. I don't care. It could be me, it could be anyone, but I'm just turning a critical eye on it. I don't understand how these directors direct themselves in movies. I think that would be really tough to do, but I guess that's kind of what I'm doing here, except I know it's not movies and I know I'm not a Hollywood star.
There's some other stuff that happens during setup, but it can be a bit much all at once.
I forgot my line. You can tell, right? Because this one's shorter than these takes.
There's some other stuff that happens during setup.
Yeah,
but
version
it
2 is
can be a
definitely
bit
warmer.
much all at once. If you want a complete setup guide, skip ahead to the setup section at the end of this episode.
It's funny, when Fascia Games was in here, probably not still here now, because it's getting super niche, but he asked me, like, the rep from Fascia Games asked me, like, setup at the end, is that, like, it's okay if you do it, but, like, is that something you usually do? And I was trying not to let my extreme nerd passion for it ooze through the email, and yes, this is something I do all the time, and in fact, I have a whole manifesto on the website about why I do that and why it should be done absolutely everywhere. Setup at the end is the hill I've decided to die on. So here's just me making a call out to the end of the video. But what is better? So I can just basically go in and trim these because I know that they're all going to be versions of the same thing. So let's watch them all together, shall we? So we've got 4 takes to choose from. Take number 1.
There's some other stuff that happens during setup,
Action.
but it can be a bit much all at once. If you want a complete setup guide, skip ahead to the setup section at the end of this episode.
2.
There's some other stuff that happens during setup, but it can be a bit much. If you want a full setup guide, skip ahead to the
It's a bit
setup
too
section
hesitant.
at the end of this episode. There's some other stuff that happens during setup, but it can be a bit much.
Too wincy.
If you want a full
I like the
setup
first one
guide,
so far.
skip ahead to the setup section at the end of this episode. There's some other stuff
There's
that
smiles.
happens during setup, but it can be a bit much. If you want a complete setup guide, skip ahead to the setup section at the end of this episode.
So I'll go with that last one because what would you go with? I like the first one. I like the last one. These are two. When I make the wince face, the pain face, I don't like it as much. Like that face, ugh. You don't want that face in your video. So I'm picking the last one. The first one was decent too because it was the smiliest. Like I said, I always go with the smiliest take.
And then I'm gonna skip that line.
Yeah, I cut a line out because it was unnecessary.
Let's take a closer look at sequence A.
Look at those smiles. I remembered. Let's take this one.
Let's take a closer look at sequence.
See, too wincy right there. I don't know why I did that, so skip that. It's not going to be the one.
Let's take a closer look at sequence A.
Weird. I don't know. I like the first one out of those. 4 sounded better. Yeah, I have a resting pain face. Well, I mean, yeah. I was going to say, I thought Poppy said that. I thought, well, you've got a concussion, so you've got an excuse. But you do not have a concussion. No excuse.
Let's take a closer look at sequence A.
I don't like the read on that, so cut that. So I got the one that I wanted.
Keep in mind that playing a card to your board in this step is optional.
A little sincere, a little weird.
Keep in mind that playing a card to your board in this step is optional.
It's okay. What's this one look like?
Keep in mind that playing a card to your board in this step is optional.
And remember, anytime that I'm smiling more than another takes, I go with the smile take. Yeah, the best way. You remind me of Rick Steves. Who is Rick Steves? Let's look that guy up. Who is Rick Steves? Rick Steves. Oh my gosh. I don't want to say what I think he looks like. He looks like he stars in Stranger Danger videos. American television personality. Uh-oh. Is this a compliment or not? I can't tell. He does independent travel. Rick Steves. Rick Steves looks a little bit older than me, doesn't he? A little bit. I don't know. Let's see. Rick Steves. Let's see Rick Steves talk about you. Oh no, I can't because I'll get copyright struck. I'll look up Rick Steves later. I don't want to like play his intro theme music and now this video has got to be taken down.
Keep in mind that playing a card to your board.
What's this say? So that's the take I took. That's the take I took. Aren't we all concussed by this thing we call life? Lately we are. Holy cow. One of my kids is having trouble lifing right now. And I asked last night, like, how much of it is the pandemic, really? Like, how much can we pin on that? I can tell these are all the same take because they have the same shape at the end. So I'll just cut out the jazz between them. Boink, 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 boink. Let's audition them.
We'll look at the actions in depth in a sec, but let's see how the flow goes. We'll look at the actions in depth in a sec, but here's how the flow goes. We'll look at the actions in depth in a sec, but here's how the flow goes. We'll look at the actions in depth in a sec, but here's how the flow goes.
I said goes weird, so I'll go with the third one on that.
No, terrible.
Yeah, I even said, no, that sucked.
No, terrible. That last one was really bad.
Right. Yeah. Here's how the flow goes. Like, who talks like that? Nobody. That's the other thing, too. I'll watch people. This is me practicing the line. I can tell because the audio level's lower. But I'll watch people on YouTube, and there's a cadence that I hate when people use on YouTube, and I catch myself doing it every once in a while. And you can tell if you ever see me do it in videos. I stopped the take and went, damn it. And let me see if I can do it. It's when people talk like newscasters. So everything they're saying, hey guys, we're going to show you how to do some stuff in Premiere Pro. And there's no reason for you to scoop and let your voice drop at the end of a sentence. Because you're not frigging Walter Cronkite. So get over yourself. It drives me nuts. And it's everywhere. Everybody does it because they think that's how you're supposed to talk when you're on camera. It's not. It's not.
The interesting thing.
Oh, wow. He's not Canadian. He sounds Canadian. Rick Steves sounds Canadian. In the best way, you remind me of Rick Steves. Okay.
Is that if you buy someone
I'll have to watch him.
by paying a resource to that player,
This line was hard because you saw all the practice I did.
you can't then pay
And then see if you can see what we call like a readiness. And that's where there's like a weird hesitation that you can kind of pick up on in somebody's performance when they've got the script in their head too much. Readiness. So let's see if I do it in this first take. And how many takes did I do of this one? Whew, a bunch. Look how many times I tried this. So when I try this take so many times, what I'll usually do is I'll just cut it all and skip to the last one because I know I probably stopped recording when I felt like I got it. But let's see what the first one looks like and maybe we'll contrast with the last one.
The interesting thing is that if you buy someone's die by paying a resource to that player, you can't then pay a red debris cube to flip that die. You're stuck with whatever number it's on. That's why it's not the end of the world if you roll all zeros and ones. It'll discourage other people from nabbing your dice.
And I forgot. And I could even tell it was getting reedy when I paused after that's why. Listen to this.
That's why it's not the end of
That's why I can't remember the next word. Okay, so that's an early read. So let's go to, I think it starts with the interesting thing. So let's.
The interesting thing is that if you
Nope. Okay, let's try again.
The interesting thing is that if you buy someone else's die by paying that player a resource, you can't then pay a red debris cube to flip it. You're stuck with whatever number it's on. That's why it's not the end of the world if you roll zeros and ones. It'll discourage the other players from grabbing your dice, and you can always sweeten your own numbers by paying a red debris cube to make your dice better.
When I try to remember things, I move my head around a lot more. Because I'm marking where the words are on the script, I think that's what's happening. So I don't know. That's a usable take. I'm going to skip the 50 million takes in between and just say go with that one because it may not be the best, but it's probably the best of what I recorded. Next.
Wherever your die ends up, the number on it
Sounds like someone's got Cronkite envy. Not me. I don't talk like Cronkite. I don't talk like Cronkite.
determines how many times you
I just don't understand why, like, you're doing a tutorial on a Twitch chatbot program. You don't have you're not doing the nightly 6 o'clock news. So why are you trying to sound like that guy?
wherever your die ends.
Maybe it's just, I don't know, like it's what you hear all the time. So you think that's how it goes. Another tip I've heard a lot of beginners when they're doing radio stuff is they'll do a scoop voice. Yeah, and that sounds like this. You almost sound like Casey Kasem or like some kind of like mega cheesemo 80s DJ, you know, like that, you know, that's scooping. So listen for that too. And now that'll drive you nuts for the rest of your life like it does me.
Wherever your die ends up, the number on it determines how many times you can do the thing.
Yeah. Let's try again.
Wherever your die ends up,
Smiles.
the number on it determines how many times you can do the thing.
So I like that better because the first one was news reading. How many times you can do the thing? Nah, nah, nah. It's always like a registered down and then up on the last two words. Drives me crazy. How's this one?
Wherever your die ends up, the number on it determines how many times you can do the thing.
Yeah, I like the second one of those three. Blamp, blamp. And on to the next one. So I've done calculations. I do about It's about a 1 RPM on my videos, so a 1 Ryan per minute. So you got a 20-minute video, there's 20 Ryan shots. So there should be like 30 in this one. And towards the end, that's when we get into the joke shot. So look forward, it's coming up. Talk about the job you want, not the job you have. Yeah. Yeah. Sexy Pants Joe, you've had your YouTube channel for 17 years, and you know, from the beginning, you've really taught people what you think about how how attractive different Pokemon are. And now we want to give you a chance to helm CBS News Nightly. What am I doing?
After you draw a card, your turn is over. And that's sequence A.
Oh yeah, this is going to be painful. I scripted a Jimmy Durante cha-cha-cha-cha with this line. And while I was doing it, I was like, this is the word. Look at my face. Look, I'm unimpressed with past me writing this in the script. Okay.
After you draw a card, your turn is over. And that's sequence A.
Sucks. I'm looking at the like, how dumb do I look right now? Answer, pretty dumb. I hope I did one without it, but I don't know. Are any of these tolerable?
After you draw a card, your turn is over. And that's sequence A.
And I think like, this kind of thing can be funny if I cut it off early, because it's almost like the guy in the editing booth is like, shut up. And the guy in the editing booth is me. And I'm like, shut up.
After you draw a card, your turn is over. And that's sequence A.
All right, what do you think? Do I go with the straight-laced one without jazz hands, or do you think Jimmy Durante jazz hands? Tell me in chat. What do you think you want to do? Hold on, we'll do a straw poll. Okay, so here, we'll kill it in case it's open, and we'll do that. Oh no! End the poll. End the poll. That's an old one. There we go. So exclamation vote space 1 for Jimmy Durante jazz hands, and exclamation mark vote space 2 for no Jimmy Durante jazz hands. Once again, this is option 1.
After you draw a card, your turn is over. And that's sequence A.
And then this is option 2.
After you draw a card, your turn is over. And that's sequence A.
Okay, so in the chat, type exclamation mark vote space 1 or exclamation mark vote space 2. There's no active straw poll. Oh my gosh, it's breaking. Hold on. Let's get rid of this and we'll launch it again. Okay, here we go. Go poll go. Yes, now you should be able to vote. Sorry about that. So option 1 is with jazz hands. Option 2 is without. And while you decide on that, I'll keep auditioning takes.
This all sounds very pleasant, but as we know from the sci-fi movies we've seen, space is horrifying.
So I didn't know if the read on that was funny enough, so I did it a couple times. Let's see.
This all sounds very pleasant, but as we've seen from...
Nope. And I have a feeling the first take is going to be the best one because I had trouble making it. That's another thing too. If you've seen the Benedict Cumberbatch thing where he tries to say penguins a million times and screws it up every single time, you can get words stuck in your craw and you can't pronounce them right. You can't say certain lines correctly. And it's just a weird mental block that you have. So I think I got a mental block on this line, but we'll see.
This all sounds very pleasant, but as we've seen from all the sci-fi...
Nope.
This all sounds very pleasant, but as
yeah,
we know...
penguin, exactly. Yeah, the penguin. He's got the weird bassy voice.
This all sounds very pleasant, but as we know from all the sci-fi movies we've seen...
Nope. Yeah, see, I had trouble with this one.
This all sounds very pleasant, but as we know from all the sci-fi movies we've seen...
Yeah, the trouble I was having was with movies we've... I had trouble saying, as with all the sci-fi movies we've... Well, I couldn't wrap my lips around it.
This all...
Blah. Blah, blah, blah. Let's see if I get it.
This all sounds very pleasant, but as we know from all the sci-fi movies we've seen, space is horrifying.
That's okay. Well, let's do it again.
We've seen space is horrifying.
Yeah, that's a funny read. That's funnier, I think, than the first one. Let's see this one.
This all sounds very pleasant, but as we know from all the sci-fi movies we've seen, space is horrifying.
Also good, but I think the one before that is better. So I'll keep that and cut that and go here. So that goes into the keeper pile. Notice how I'm just getting a big old heap of keepers. There's all my keepers over here. And then, you know, once I get all these together, I'll bomb back through the video and just slot them in all the orange spots. And then all the Ryan shots are in and done. And that's like, it feels like a huge accomplishment after that part when all the Ryan shots are in.
Thankfully, there's a way to battle the Ravagers and clear the damage cubes off the ship. Let's take a closer look at what the Black Angel's action spaces do.
That's pretty good. I would keep that. Number 2.
Thankfully, there's a way to
smiles.
battle the Ravagers and clear the damage cubes off the ship. Let's take a look at what the Black Angel's action spaces do.
Also good. You guys have decided on jazz hands.
Draw a card. That's sequence A. This.
So not that one. That one. Okay. Well, you've done it. That's the one that's going in the video. Congratulations. I hope you're proud of yourselves. Okay, I'll kill that poll. Yeah, okay. That's fine. That's fine. Like I say, I might cut, like, tell me if it's funnier. Hold on, where is it? Tell me if it's funnier if I like cut it right there. Hold on.
Sequence A.
I don't know. I find it funny when when I cut myself off in the middle of being a moron. Right. What are we doing? Right. We're doing this one.
Thankfully, there's a way to
Done for the night. Thanks so much, DJ Machvi, for popping in. I'll be done very shortly too.
clear the damage cubes off the
I
ship.
just want to get to the orange soda part so you can see that.
Let's take a look at what the Black Angel's action spaces do. The one catch is that it's all or nothing.
Okay. So I got 3 takes. What's the best? Look for the smiles.
Thankfully, there's a way to battle the Ravagers and clear the damage cubes off the ship. Let's take a closer look at what the Black Angel's action spaces do.
Fine.
Thankfully, there's a way to battle
Friendlier.
the Ravagers and clear the damage cubes off the ship. Let's take a look at what the Black Angel's action spaces do.
Smilier.
Thankfully, there's a way to battle the
Thankfully.
Ravagers and clear the damage cubes off the ship. Let's take a look at what the Black Angel's action spaces do.
I think the second one of those 3 is the smilier or friendlier one.
The one catch is that it's all or nothing. You have to clear out
How many more
all
of these?
the
Oh my god, there's so much more. Let's just skip ahead to the fun part. Where's... And you'll be seeing this again if you're a patron. You'll be seeing this again in a blooper reel that I'll cut together. I saved it at the very end because I didn't know if I was going to like hurl orange soda all over the game or anything. So, okay, here we go. So the concept, well, you'll see the concept.
The starting player is the first.
Oh. You can tell I'm nervous about how this is going to go.
The starting player is the first person who can coherently gargle Asimov's 3 laws of robotics with orange soda.
Okay. And that's funnier if it's like cut off, like I say.
The starting player is the first player who can.
Nope. And I was a little conscious of how long it took me to actually get a gulp, so I tried to make the gulping go faster so that you don't have time to really process what the hell I'm talking about.
The starting player is the first player who
funnier
can
that way.
coherently gargle Asimov's 3 laws of robotics.
Oh yeah, that's the other thing is I put the glass off out of the shot so that it'd be more of a surprise. So hopefully that makes it funnier too.
The starting player is the first player who can coherently gargle Asimov's 3 laws of robotics with orange soda.
I was trying to get a robot shall not harm a human.
The starting player is the first player who can coherently gargle Asimov's 3 laws of robotics with orange soda.
Okay, no, that's a little bit of a spit up. Tell I'm not proud of myself, but I'm going to give you the old college try one more time.
The first player is...
Okay, here we go. I kind of like the timing on that one because it's like Ryan made a dumb joke, and then like, oh my god, he's actually got orange soda.
The starting player is the first player who can coherently gargle Asimov's 3 laws of robotics with orange soda.
No, not as good. I like the one where it's almost like joke over, and then I reach for the orange soda. So this one, I'll pop this up one layer because that's the one I like so far.
The starting player is the first player who can coherently gargle Asimov's 3 laws of robotics with orange soda.
Nah. See, I tend to go too broad. The more takes I do, I go more broad, and it's less funny.
The starting player is the first player who can...
Nope.
The starting player is the
I'm already kind of smiling, and when I'm about to tell a joke, I don't want to smile because I like deadpan.
first player who can coherently gargle Asimov's 3 laws of robotics with orange soda.
See, I'm already reaching for the orange soda because I wanted the shot to go faster. I liked how it was fountaining out of my mouth, but I think of all of them, I think this one is the winner. Let's watch it one more time.
The starting player is the first player who can coherently gargle Asimov's 3 laws of robotics with orange soda.
So if I cut it, yeah, right there. I think that's funny. I think that works. Does that work? Hold on. Let's watch it one more time with the cutoff.
The starting player is the first player who can coherently gargle Asimov's 3 laws of robotics with orange soda.
I think of all of them. That one's okay. I like that I don't reach for it right away. I don't know. What do you think? Oberon says definitely go for the friendlier version. You inevitably and ultimately you inevitable and ultimately demise in the empty soulless void of space. Oh, you're inevitable and ultimately demise in the empty soulless void of space should be welcoming. I agree. If we're all on this rock together, which will eventually burn up in the heat of a supernova sun, let's have a good time while we're here. So you've seen how the process works, right? I'm going to go through this, audition all the takes, cut the ones I want, and then it's just a simple matter of like I take this one and Control X to cut it, and I'll go to the beginning of the video where I have the intro shot, the first orange thing, and I'll hit a cut there, delete the temporary one, paste the good one, and trim up the gap. And then that needs a transition, but that's all, and when I bring in the whole, right at the beginning, the first shot is this is just a fade in. Actually, I can do it like this. Fade from black.
Hi, it's Ryan from...
Actually, it's a little bit less room than I want it to be. Let's try that.
Hi, it's...
And I'll make that fade in happen a little bit slower. Sorry, I'm trying to wrap up and then I'm like, oh, just one more thing. Do.
Hi, it's Ryan from...
And then here I got the Knights Around the Table logo. I got a 45 and I put a card drop shadow. That's one of my preset drop shadows on there. It's for, it's for a large object that takes up most of the screen, but it works nicely on the crest. And I'll put here.
From Knights Around a Table, and this is Black Angel.
And then after I say the name of the game is when I fade out the crest.
Black Angel, a sci-fi dice worker placement game for 1 to 4 players. Let me show you how to play.
And right there, I can kind of tell by feel where that needs to be. So I will put in the wipe that I always use from going... Oh no, actually it doesn't matter right now because I don't actually have the flyover in there. Anyway, that's how it's going. So you can see it's coming along. I just have to do the color treatment, the audio stuff, put some sound effects in, get all those Ryan shots auditioned and plunked into the video, and do edit pass B on this chunk right here, which is its own separate video about the solo mode. It looks like I'm missing just one graphic. So instead of going back and back to the publisher, I'm just going to finish it all up so that I'm not constantly saying, oh, one more thing. And then it should be good. Like I said, like I was plugging before, thank you for joining me. If you want to play around with us, Omelette is running if you go to the Discord server and you go to the game scheduling channel, Omelette is running a Castles of Burgundy Championship, a tournament on Friday. So sign up now and you'll be able to play on Friday on Board Game Alliance. It's a winners take all. What's the all? Well, nothing. Fame and glory. But maybe I'll mention you on next Tuesday's stream, tell you who won the Castles of Burgundy tournament. What else can I tell you? On Thursday, I play games on the stream, and I've got one in mind. Could be Castles of Burgundy, but I've actually approached a digital board game developer about a Steam key for something that just came out on Steam. Maybe you know what I'm talking about. I'm going to try to play that game, and if they don't come through with a Steam key, then I'll do something else on the stream. But just know that we'll play a game on Thursday, and then this Friday, you can check out this video, how to play Black Angel and how to play Black Angel solo. Those will both be on the channel. And today you can, oh my gosh, so much going on. Today you can go over to Rado's channel and you can, oh my gosh, who's subscribed? I got to click fast before it goes away. I don't know how to pronounce that. I tried my best. Thank you so much for the follow. Today you can go to Rado's channel, the Rado Runs Through channel, and you can watch my drop drive video. And the Kickstarters that we talked about today were Voidfall from Minecraft Clash Games, Rick Steves, who is not a Kickstarter, but yes, Voidfall we talked about, boom, there it is, and we talked about Drop Drive, boom, there it is, and we gave a little slam to the dinosaur one, Paleovet, which, I don't know, maybe it interests you. Maybe the little niggling design criticisms don't bug you as much as they bother me. Great. Wow. Voidfall had a strong first day, nearing 500,000 euros. Yeah. Let's take a look. Refresh it. Now it's not a competition, but, yeah, they've just hit it out of the park with this one. And it was hotly anticipated. How is Drop Drive doing? Let's just refresh and take a look quick. 62 of 49. And the last time we checked in on Paleovet, oh, no, it's one word. Paleovet Kickstarter. I shouldn't have closed it because sometimes it can be hard to find stuff on Kickstarter. Oh, no, it comes right up. Very good. So they've done something right there for sure. So they're about a third of the way, but they've got the whole month to go to reach their backing. Great. Cool. So that's a little Kickstarter update. Thank you so much for joining me. Again, I still don't know how to raid, or if I did, who we would raid. Actually, maybe we get the computer open and we'll do that together. Let's take a look. Let's raid for the very first time, shall we? Do like a virgin, raiding for the very first time. Who do you want to see? Marvel Crisis Protocol painting. You guys want to see a mini painter? I've never watched Atomic Mass games, but maybe that would be interesting. And these people are playing Flesh and Blood, the trading card game, and Dave is trading in the Mediterranean. Oh, so Dave is playing, is that Concordia Digital? It looks like. So I won't send you to Dave because that's what I wanted to do on Thursday. I'm being petty. So yeah, maybe Atomic Mass Games it is. How do we do that? I don't know. I've never done it before. So let's check it out. We go to this and we go to channel, and it's going to be playing what I'm doing right now, which we don't want it to. And then we go to the next button we click is the following. We click on report. We report Knights Around a Table because he's up to no good. And then I checked this out before. Oh, yes. Okay. Channel. I swear I checked this out beforehand. How to raid. There's usually a button here that lets me get, gosh, channel video, creator dashboard. Here we go. Here's the behind the scenes. Stream Manager. Here we go. Here's the button. Raid channel. What do we say? Atomic Mass Games. Here we go. Atomic. This is why I don't do this. Yes, there we go. Start raid. Let's do it. Is that it? Is that all I have to do? I just have to give a salute and we're done? Ready. Okay. Here we go. Thank you so much for joining me, and I'll see you later on in the week.